Welcome everyone to another exciting day of Clash Royale League Asia. My name is Joel Silby. Joining with me today is going to be G-Cliff, and we're nearing the very end of our season, and it's really about 2 more days left to go in this entire season 2, and we will start off with the wild cards, finally starting off the postseason just right, and gonna go with the finals and the rest of the playoffs, of course, starting next week. So it's gonna be exciting stuff, G-Cliff. I'm sure, you know, looking throughout the season, we had season 2 now in, ready for conclusion. See how you felt about the season so far.
Yeah, it's been already 10 plus weeks, and we're done with the regular season. We're gonna do that wild card, and there are a lot of rules, a lot of things to explain to you guys because it's not the regular set, because only one winner moves on, and there are 3 teams. How are we going to do the matches? We'll explain that. But for the 10 weeks, of course, players moving back and forth between all the regions. All the players got some exciting moments, really fun moments. Actually, this season has been just dominance of Japan and Southeast Asia mainly. Korea not as good of a result compared to those 2 regions.
And you were talking about the comparisons between the different regions, and I think my favorite part about the season so far is that, you know, there is definitely a sense of progression between the players, because when it first began, we didn't know what to expect out of Korea. They were kind of in the middle of the pack, and we thought that would be the case with Japan looking stronger with Southeast Asia from season 1, not looking as strong. We thought that would be the same case in season 2, but as the season progressed on, these guys from Southeast Asia, they really cranked up the tank, and they were one of the best regions right now, and I don't even know if Japan is far ahead of them right now because the progression has been so intense for these guys.
Oftentimes, of course, because we have 2v2, the first one to start off, but rest of the match is 1v1. It came down to the ace player. If that player dominates, they can win that 1v1 and actually go through that 3-win streak on the King of the Hill. They will take the entire win for the match. Yeah. It came down to that story many of the times, just picking up 1-2 good players. It came down to what the story, especially for Southeast Asia. Korea was not the same. That's why we're going to have the matches of the second places tonight. All the first place have moved on to the actual playoffs. That's going to be next week, but tonight it's going to be only the wild card, the second place teams for all regions.
So that's going to be Sandbox from Korea, Five Gaming from Japan, and Southeast Asia's Chaos Theory with Benzuriel still looking like he wants to dominate the competition. But now we have a long way ahead for these 3 teams to get to the finals in time, because you will only make it to the semifinals if you are the top team out of today. It is going to be the same group stage format, of course a little bit different in terms of how we run the format, but it is important to know that the winner out of today's wildcards will be that 4th team joining KingZone, Pono Sports, and Brand Esports, as you can see on the screen, joining us for the semifinals that will be held next week.
The winner from today will be going against KingZone. The spots for the playoff has been drawn in randomly in raffle, so they're already in that spot. It's not going to change. The wildcard will versus KingZone, and Pono Sports versus Esports. They should be studying already about the opponent team. That's going to be very exciting stuff coming around. Wildcard, because we have 3 teams, we'll actually be putting all the teams in somewhat of a triangle format and having 2 matches each tonight.
And would have to say that KingZone is kind of the lucky one out of this raffle in terms of going up against technically the 4th best team that will join this competition. The winner of the wildcards is technically the best out of the 2nd places, right? And that's going to be the opponent for KingZone coming up next week. So Opponent Sports, Brand Esports, I'm sure they have it tougher on the other side of that bracket, but it does go to say that, you know, last season's champion, you remember them being Pono Sports. Remember where they came from. They came from the wildcards all the way up, 1 step at a time, and their progression and their momentum that they had for every single round did them a lot of justice, really keeping the teams off guard and eventually winning the championship.
Yeah, exactly, and it was all Japanese finals. As you see, Sandbox, if they move on from tonight, they will verse KingZone, which means Korea versus Korea semis. They will at least have a Korean team in the finals. That is totally possible.
Yep.
But compared to the other 2 teams, Five Gaming and Chaos Theory, they are the weak team for sure.
I would have to say most people would expect either a Southeast Asian team or Japan team to progress out of this wildcard, not really Sandbox, because the fact that Korea has definitely looked weaker than those other 2 regions aforementioned. And this is happening about a few weeks ago, and of course there has been a couple of weeks in time where they domestically had to kind of go up against their own regions for the next 2 weeks, for the final 2 weeks of the season. And we are here, and we're still wondering whether Korea is in that same form where they really couldn't put up a fight against these teams from Southeast Asia and North Japan.
Yeah, we're talking about this because let me just throw out a few numbers. Sandbox has 5 wins and 9 losses in match score, and compared to that, Fav and Chaos Theory, which you see on the screen, they both have 9-5, the opposite numbers of wins and losses. So that's the exact reason why. And we see a lot of the 1v1. We've seen a lot of them play. I think it comes down to that conclusion exactly. We do have Chaos Theory here, and the match records on season 2. It seems like we had some tough ones going all the way to the King of the Hill, but they won both of the teams actually, though. That's pretty nice.
That's incredible news. Chaos Theory, especially with Benzerida, we talk about this guy being such a high player ever since the season began. But it is important to know that you see that graph on the screen. It is literally Benzerida a one-man show for majority of the season.
He's off the charts.
He's off the charts quite literally because he has literally won, as we can read from the graph, he has won 100% of the entire team's 1v1.
Yes.
So everybody else that tried to go on this 1v1 set 2 did not succeed, and they have only recorded losses. As you can see, Careless losing 2, Raybag is losing 1 each time he came out. Benzerida, he lost 4, sure, but he won 7, and that is the entire win percentage that this team has. So it really is dependent on the Chaos Theory on this individual player.
Yeah, for the 1v1s, it's actually the set wins and set losses. For King of the Hill, it's game wins and game losses. And even King of the Hills, he is literally the king of King of the Hill from Southeast Asia. He has won so many times, had 2 3-0s, I believe, in the season. So that's an incredible run for Benzerida. But we do have Fav Gaming, the Japanese team, and they do look pretty strong too.
And when I do say Benzerida and not Fav Gaming, but Chaos Theory is literally a one-man team, this represents kind of a real team where all 4 members seem to contribute a lot better. And you are not only depending on one player, that is Donnie featured on your key player screen, but everybody else, good old Ken Sumeshi down in that 1v1, you got Rad and Yakitori in that 2v2, you can rely on every single one of these players to do a good job on the day, and depending on who falters, the other can pick things up. That's what makes this a strong team.
Exactly, and they do have a really dedicated duo. That's Rad and Yakitori, the one you see in the blue, right in the middle, 6 and 6. Of course, that one over loss for Yakitori was paired up with Oz there for the last weekend, which didn't really matter too much on their standing, so there's that loss. But the reason why we have Danny as a key player is because not just his 1v1 record, his King of the Hill record, choosing decks out of the opponent, just understanding what the opponent is going to try. He had major, really good counter decks against the opponent. That's why he has a really good record right there.
Yeah, just the preparation does go a long way, doesn't it? Donnie 4-1 on that record, and it really goes to show that it's something that's off the game. That is something that's beyond the games itself when you come into the competition. That the preparation method, the kind of the studying your opponents and really studying the data of what they played in the past and what you can expect in the later days matches, it really did prove a long way for a lot of these teams, especially from Southeast Asia. You talk about Brainy Sports all day long. They prepare, and they know exactly what the opponent's going to play before they even played it. So, you know, all that really records into good records for these individual players and teams. And it really goes to show that the top teams right now do have that asset within them every single time.
And that's why at the beginning of Season 2 and also Season 1, we just saw a lot of the meta cards just being banned because they just don't want those really strong cards to be out there. But nowadays, starting from week 6-ish, I think, we saw a lot of sniping bans like the Ice Golem when the opponent plays a lot of 3 Musketeers or just lots of Royal Hog, which is of course a meta. But still, if the opponent actually plays that card so many times, like 3 out of 5 times, that you should always ban that. And that came down to the conclusion oftentimes.
Well, here it is, though. We're going to look at Sandbox, our first team up in this matchup. We are in Taiwan to do this event, and it's going to be the last time we get to see the Southeast Asian Stadium before we move on to Japan. That will be next week's final. It's going to be all the more interesting.
And also 2 of these 3 teams. It will be last time we see them because only 1 team is going to that next week for the playoff, where we have Fav Gaming going against Sandbox. That will be the first match. Each team, again, will be playing 2 matches tonight. We have 3 best-of-3s ready for you.
There you go, and we got incredible amount of competition from these guys. And You know exactly what you can expect from Rad and Yakitori along with good old Ken Smeshi as the 4th player. I'm sure he'll be just fine to do his thing. Donnie will be back on that 1v1 roster, and with Beaver as his opponent, we do see the Pekka being kind of the outlier in terms of the ban collection because everybody seems to be prioritizing the Tornado.
Yes, especially the Japanese teams, not just Bob Gaming, and every single Japanese team has been banning Tornado, just regardless of which team they go up against, especially starting from week 7 to week 8. And I think that can be a good amount of practice when they need to practice. Just take out that card from entire thing and then start playing it. I think that's a good way of practicing the game.
Really is that the Tornado is such an unexpected tool. When it strikes you at the right time, it's really tough to recover because defensively you can do it to anything. You can match it up with the Ice Wizard, you can match it up with the Baby Dragon, with the Bowler, anything you can do, and Tornado everything up, and it becomes almost an invincible amount of defense. And we are looking at 2v2, of course, where that even applies so much more because you have so many more units coming down that one lane, and that Tornado does such a good job. So it's worthy of banning out. So we will see, without that happening, basically everything else is in play.
Yeah, when you try to double that synergy even more, of course, with having 20 elixirs together for a single push.
Oh yeah.
And then have a Tornado after Tornado, that's going to drag down and speed down the attack, what you want to do. And the AIs don't really move for you.
Yeah.
If you put the unit down, you can't really move that together anymore. So a Tornado can actually change a lot of things, like making it go to the other lane, for example, sometimes.
Sure thing, and we talk about that 3 Muskies play, especially in the 1v1 when they put it right behind the King's Tower, Tornado up right away, quick reaction speed, that can get into one lane, then you fireball that thing and then just corner.
Yeah, it's a little harder after the nerf.
Okay, so I think we're going to go right into this matchup, guys. Game 1 will be on the way, and we will see how Sandbox does their thing against Rad and Yakitori. Of course, a strong duo we have for the entire season so far. We're going to start off with the Lava Hound push from the bottom side from Shinchu and Sato to start off the game.
We had a lot of lava push from Japanese region as a whole, all the teams, but it seems like Sandbox, they want to try the same, and there's a early balloon. Along with the miner, already lightning being struck.
Okay, that balloon's going to be down to a very uncomfortable amount of health, and the bats are trying to get it done, and they do a good job of getting that target done. And you see all the tanking coming from these area units with the Baby Dragon, Inferno Dragon, and the Mega Minion, and this poison value, hoping to get a lot as the Golem was very well taken care of.
That will be just enough. With the poison, we'll take out everything with some help of the Princess Tower, but even the Bomb Tower. So no scratches for Sandbox. Actually did a little bit of damage with the miner, and little plus onto Rad and Yakitori's side.
Definitely so. We are going to see another attempt at this Golem push with the Prince supporting at its unit, and we're going to see Double Dragon onto this side. No Electro Dragon so far, so we are going to see what happens from here. As far as we know, it's not going to be a thing for now. This Prince is going to be taken care of by the guards, and Fireball will knock the shields away from this Dark Prince, and the Snowball further slowing things down, but the Golem is still well at its work, and the Zap to get rid of the Mega Minion. This is going to be painful, and knowing that you have to summon the defensive miner, you are in trouble if you're Sandbox.
Yeah, the Snowball from Bob Gaming just was a beautiful thing, as the guards only got the Prince. Of course, there was no Bomb Tower to drag. That Balloon went straight into the tower. Inferno Dragon, of course, got knocked back and actually died with extra spell. So Golem was actually free to do damage. Look at that, only 450 left.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even the double elixir time yet.
You see how they're going for another push onto the right side. Kind of shows a greediness, and to make sure that right tower goes down for FOF Gaming. That's a lot of investment onto 450 HP on your opponent's tower. Now we're going to see a counter offense on the other end because really no significant damage was done quite yet. So we're going to see another balloon push with this Infernal Dragon still being distracted here, and we're going to see what happens from here. The balloon is going to charge onto the Infernal Tower, and it'll do a good job, but this balloon is still not taking care of it. The Snowball will slow things down, but it will get a drop off and get a second drop. It doesn't. So we are going to see it get down to about 827, while this right tower is pretty much a goner by one more spell.
827, and they only have 20 seconds to push all the way in. 800 damage. With the Lava Hound that's already being dragged by that Inferno, it's already dead. Getting the pubs, they need a lot more damage. So there's that poison that's removing all the pubs. 500 to go. 8 more seconds.
Oh, it's looking a lot closer than it seems, but it's going to be 4:10. This miner, can he get the job done? Actually, Mike, the guards will do it,
1
but
second.
that was very, very close. If that snowball did not come inside, that ought to been that 113 HP gone from the side. That would have made it all so even, but very good defensive efforts in the end by Rad and Yakuza. Once again, very, very focused to get the job done here in Game 1.
Yep, I would say the key card for Game 1 is definitely Giant Snowball.
Yes.
Giant Snowball thrown by both teams, knocking back just enough sometimes, delaying and applying that slow to a lot of units was just enough sometimes. But seems like Sandbox didn't really have the second bomb tower ready for that Golem. That was actually the one that costed them the game. Got the good defense with the guards, but let's see what happens this time as we're just skipping through games here.
Game 2 with the Electro Wizard emotes on both players. That is rude. That is absolutely rude.
That's synergy, Joel. That's
What? It wasn't even at the same time, G-Clev. Come on.
It's synergy.
We know the basics. Everything has to be at the same time. Look at this. The bat's coming through with the Skelly Bell. This actually might look dangerous, but the snowball is there.
Yes.
Do they have another one? Because the skeletons will now be crowding down the tower.
Not the worst thing. It will just do a couple hundred damages. You want to focus on your main attack, which is onto the right side bomb tower, and the miner is actually doing damage. Mini Pekka takes him out.
The balloon. Okay. It's getting a lot of hits through, and the Giant Snowball, you can see that it's doing an effective job of kind of knocking away, obviously, but also slowing down the movement speed, and that does a lot of things.
Away from the right Princess Tower, so it gets the
targets
arrow
the left
damage
one.
from the other Princess Tower as well.
Exactly.
That was actually the perfect throw, just what you needed.
And it feels like with that 2 elixir, you're getting a lot of value for it. You talk about Giant Snow when it first came out, you were hyping it up quite a bit, but the players weren't really convinced at first. But
it did get a buff in the middle.
Yes, it did, but
A major buff.
it looks a lot better now, doesn't it? When it first came out, it was kind of this awkward card. That spell, what was it really for? People didn't get it.
But
as
this
much.
lava actually getting to the tower, half HP. The miner comes now.
The miner will actually. No, it's actually targeting the Valkyrie, so this is the problem, and the miner will not be able to do much. And the Inferno Tower, I mean, talking about the Lava Hound, the Lava Pups will not be able to do much in that scenario.
Last time they had the mini Pekka, seems like this time will be Valkyrie as a defensive use, which they would not really want to use that for a defensive use here.
Now we're going to see the first real attack coming in from Rad and Yakuza. Just sending that miner out, it's going to do some chip damage, it's going to be fine, but we're going to see the Inferno Dragon do a good job of trying to just melt down this balloon.
zap.
Oh, that balloon is going to almost get a hit, and it's going to get the drop, and that's going to be the end of Tower 1 here on the right side.
Perfect zap coming out from Shinchu and Sato. Just stopped that Inferno, had the balloon connect. That was actually really close. Just out of time, so they do have to bring the tower down. They only have 44 seconds.
And a bit unfortunate of a miner on that one from Rad and Yakuza, just targeting itself to the Inferno Dragon was not a fortunate situation, but this Lava Hound push, it's been lethal all game long, and this game too, it's been all about this Lava Hound always getting to the tower, and this balloon seemingly untroubled at its time trying to get to the tower.
Look at that miner just gone from all the damage on the ground. A lot of air units still out there. Inferno locks onto the balloon, but still a lot of HP left. Goes down right before.
It's the meltdown just in time here, but doesn't really matter because it seems like 1067 HP is a little bit too much to take down for 10 more seconds, and really looking towards that miner, really helplessly trying to do something, but we know that this is eventually game over. 770 HP is going to be the final count as we do see Shinchu and Sato pull things right back.
Oh, yeah, with that double poison, it was never going to be too close. Double rocket, yeah, sure, but they did not have it at the time, and when they wanted to do a little more chip damage, they lost a lot more because they were spending that extra, just sending a miner, not really getting too much synergy with the other card, just sending a miner straight on. Of course, there's about 500 damage, but still, when there's a maximum amount of elixir push coming from the other opponent, you do want to think about your defense a little more.
Really is. We always talk about it, don't we? It's just defense first, first, and once you complete your defense, then get it to the other side.
And then a hog right.
And what? Come on, I didn't say that. We never said that, G-Clef. That's not lie to our viewers. But depending on Hog Riders or not, we're still getting the very cute emotes from the side of Rad and Yakuza, kind of showing that they still have confidence they can do this.
It's only 1-1. They only have to take one more game. Let's see what other... Okay, Fire Spirit.
Ooh, Royal Giant deck. Am I feeling this, G-Cliff?
Right after they went back to the Prince Golem deck.
Okay, we're gonna see the Miner here with the Baby Dragon that will do a good job. It's in a bad position. It's getting hit down by the bat. That was probably the worst Baby Dragon play in 2018.
I've seen worse.
You did. All right. Well, I mean,
In my games, personally.
yeah, you'd be the one to differ on that one. But we are looking at this now. This Inferno Dragon, it's in a lot better position than the Baby Dragon from earlier. It will melt things down, and it will allow the explosion damage to actually not connect onto the tower. So that's very nicely done by Shinjunsada.
You're still getting some damage done with the Golem. You think the Golemites are really kind of tiny compared to the Golem and
They're
slow
so strong.
slow, but they do lock down the Princess Tower shots, and when you can synergize with something else, they can kill your tower.
And this Electro Wizard is going to fall down, and this Skeleton's coming in. That will be snowballed away, but what about this Miner? It's still a lot of damage being done from the side of Shinjunsada.
Nice placement because they were expecting that to be used in front, and they got a lot more synergy on that, but they're starting their own Golem push once again, and keep on doing some scratchy damage with that Miner.
Wow, that Miner, you talk about 500 damage each time, is literally getting the maximum value right there because it's been untrollable, but something has to work out if you are Radin Yakitori, because this Golem, it's only the Golemites that are getting through, and that's not what you want if you are 5 good.
Yeah, not even to the tower, because they have the bomb tower ready this time, but the next one will be the real push. I think that's also a reason why Shinjunsada, they keep on pushing left, so that the synergy for the Golem actually is not maximized all the time, and they're getting a little bit more as long as they have some bomb tower. Inferno Dragon blocking on that Golem, which is not coming this time.
Sure is, and we're going to look at the Skelly Barrel. We're going to look at the Stark Prince that will charge up, but the defensive Miner right at the same time. That is brilliant work.
Will actually chop down the Golem.
It will, but the explosion damage does come in time, so it is important to know that it's completely not over yet. The 604 down to 542 seems doable for Radin Yakitori for 33 more seconds, but they have to get the defense going.
Yeah, they have to get the defense going first, and then think about their offense, but they don't have too much time, so they got to do everything right now. That's why they dropped right on top.
Yeah, it's going to be dropping right at the bridge here, hoping that it connects, but these Inferno Dragons doing a pretty good job of melting things down, and good log, and also this Rocket defensively? That was brilliant! 407, this explosion is not going to happen within the
that
tower.
Might just be enough.
326 down to 270. Do they have another spell for it? 6 more seconds. I don't think that's going to be enough. 111. One more punch from the Golemite would have done it, but that's going to be 58 HP that they could not get down, and that's going to be Sandbox picking up the set 1 2v2 victory.
Wow. They move on to playoff. They bring the miracle. Of course, with 58, Zap's not enough. Snowball's not enough.
Yeah.
So they had to have some other type of spell there to actually work around. It was not enough with the available elixirs at the time, and Sandbox will take the first set.
Incredible, because we haven't seen them beat a Japanese team for a long time, especially in 2v2. Maybe 1v1 they do get those miraculous plays going, but 2v2, it just seemed as if it was absolutely on the side of Japan every single time, regardless of what team it is. I don't care if it's Detonation
Let's just
Gaming.
put down the stats. Because Sandbox lost a lot of 2v2s, they actually had 0-2s on in a lot of their records.
Yeah.
And that's pretty rare. Oftentimes we go to the King of the Hill, and Sandbox actually has one of the most 2-0s, 0-2s as a loss for themselves, in Korea especially. And having this 2v2 win for themselves in this important match,
Yeah.
it's such an incredible feeling right now, and they have the key player, Beaver, up for the 1v1.
And you can see that the Sandbox is really living up to that pressure and just kind of taking this approach in the best way that they can. And Beaver, I should do say, the team leader, the front line for everything that is very important in these matches. Beaver is going to be the one to swallow up that pressure and try to win this 1v1. And that's going to be a tough one, especially against such a very established player that we have on the other side for Fog Gaming.
And he's the key player, and the reason why he's the leader, and he came into the team as the ace player as well. But Donnie, that's a scary thing. He holds an incredible record on that King of the Hill. Not just his 1v1, which is the set score. That looks scary too, 4-1 set score.
I mean, 4-1, it tells you a lot of things if you've been basically holding on to that record for the entire season too. I mean, you were talking about it in the beginning of the broadcast. It's been a long, long season. Many, many months of Clash Royale. And consistently, this player, Donnie, hasn't lost a lot of these important matches out there. Whenever he needed to win, he really pulled it off. But Beaver,
Donnie controls a lot of the speed, especially with that Royal Ghost, which is getting a nerf. I'm so happy. But that's coming in next week for that actual finals, but tonight, I believe we're about to see some same cards. He likes to keep that tempo against the opponent, especially against the beatdown, and get the first crown.
Gonna wait things out for both players, as we can see right now in the standings. But Beaver, what he's thinking, banning out the pet guy. He must have something in mind. Maybe the golem, maybe the giant. Makes a lot of sense.
Barbarians.
Well, that's gonna help with the
Beaver
P.E.K.K.A.
did
ban.
try this a few weeks ago, and it failed miserably with that Magic Archer. The deck has been going around. It's been a thing.
Could be the Magic Archer deck. It's always a thing to either have a complete Barbarian party as another option, but
Yes. Barbarian Party sounds like Clown Party-ish.
and it doesn't sound good. It sounds just
So I
as
call
bad
it the
as Cloud Party.
Spartans.
Spartans,
Makes
you
it
say.
feel a little stronger. At least.
Barbarians sound quite strong. I don't know what you're talking about. The Barbarians sound strong enough for me already, G-Clay. I don't know anything stronger than what I know about Barbarians, but
Elite Barbarians.
you're exact 200 IQ play right there, G-Clay. Good job on that
Oh,
one.
Barrel.
Barrel does a good job,
Yep.
always doing a good job
Drags
of
the
beating
ghost
away.
from the tower. Nicely done.
Exactly what you need, and doesn't even get a single hit onto the tower. These bats will take care of them. The baby dragon's just finally here. The Mega Minion just distracted, but really not going to be harmed. It might be literally the Barbarian party very close to it, but we haven't seen a Magic Archer. We haven't seen anything like the Royal Hogs in this play. The 3 Muskies also an option sometime, but really none of them appearing quite yet. We don't know what the key card is.
Yes. And Fireball being used for a Flying Machine. This may actually... Oh, there's a key card. Rogue Giant.
And the
Going
cannon
in.
card is here, so this is seemingly a very, very important card for everyone. but
Yeah, Barbarian Hub takes a lot of hits. It's actually one of the most HP structure out there, with, of course, very high cost, too.
But at the same time, exactly you were talking about cost. You got 6 for 7 there if you are Donnie, so you're getting a very much a good lead going. So
It's starting.
Barbarian Party hasn't started. You gotta look at the Royal Ghost trying to get something with it, but still 1739 onto the tower is a lot of danger if you are down here.
That's the exact reason why this is happening, because that Flying Machine is drawing out that Fireball all the time.
Yeah.
Let's see, Donnie's going a little bit faster this time with that. But cannon card locked in already, too.
You get locked in with the Barbarians helping out, so that's not going to get maximum value from the Royal Giant. We're going to see these Dragons do a pretty good job, but the Magic Archer is here, still doing a lot of work defensively.
Exactly. So Donnie quite a bit of trouble here, as he cannot really do any damage to that Royal Giant at all because of the Barbarian Hut, which is coming down every single time.
I mean, the Royal Giant is trying to get rid of it, but the real thing that Royal Giant has to do is seriously just get some HP damage onto the tower, because look at Beaver's towers. It's full HP on both sides.
Yes, because he needs to bring that hut down along with the Fireball, doing some damage onto it. But the reason why he's putting down that Flying Machine onto the other side, because it's not going to coordinate with that hut. So Fireball cannot be used on that hut at all. So Beaver's actually having a good time in this game.
Got some damage onto the tower, onto the left side, but it is really worrying if you are looking towards Donnie, and you really see this Barbarian Party really affecting him now, and this Royal Ghost will be stopped by the Tombstone, of course, but it is important to know that the lead is definitely towards the side of Beaver.
Despite a slight bit, of course. One big mistake could cost anyone's game right now, but with that hut, it's actually pretty hard to make a big mistake at the moment, where Donnie, he's actually having a hard time pushing out.
The fact that you have to defend against the Flying Machine because you couldn't destroy it with the Royal Giant, that's literally throwing away
He did save
6
up his
elixirs
Fireball this time, so maybe saving it up for next use. He changed up the cycle for himself, Donnie did.
And we're looking at this now, and this Royal Ghost is going to be looking towards that way. It's going to start putting in some damage, and 11-15. As you can see, the Barbarians won't get anywhere, but it's important to know that there's literally no counter push opportunity for Donnie.
Even whenever he stacks up elixirs, you know that hut is coming down.
Yeah.
And Donnie can't really miss that timing, because he needs to remove that at all.
And he has really no good cards for it. The Royal Giant is literally meant to destroy the towers, but not really just to go for the Barbarian Hut every time, even though he's not even getting full value
which is
off
his
of that.
winning condition. Yeah. So he needs to change it up, but it's really hard with what Beaver actually has, Flying Machine being in the air. So Donnie trying to change that with some of his dragons in the air. Inferno doing the job this time. Last time was a baby. He's trying to save up that Fireball. Let's see if it actually can change up a bit for Beaver.
Every time those Barbarians go to the tower and gets one swipe is 1 second less that Donnie has to survive in this game. But talk about surviving, it is still possible to get a tie. 40 seconds left with 800 HP probably. We will see if anything happens here. Now literally just going full defense. Putting that just Royal Giant as a tank right now, that kind of shows you.
So look at that Beaver putting down all the magic archers, trying to get some penetration, but it's not landing anytime soon.
Yeah, and it's important to know, 797, it just seems hard enough. 20 seconds left to go, and this baby dragon is going to limit it from one swipe. It will get a single. Oh, but the cannon card is going to connect. That is going to be the end of the game. I don't see this closing now, and the fireball will be there in the last 13 seconds. Donnie almost did it, but Beaver, a very dominated performance in that game, number one.
And Sandbox, just a single game away from winning against Bob Gaming.
It is incredible because we didn't see Sandbox as the strongest team in Korea, which they are placed second, but...
Yes, but they only have to play well today.
Yes, that's true.
That's all that matters.
And it takes really 2 matches, doesn't it, to make sure you have the best record to be the top team in all of this wildcard. And if you're FOF Gaming, you're very, very worried because not only can you not get into the King of the Hill, you're going to lose this first match probably think to yourself, how can we really come back to become the best team in the wildcards?
Well, Donnie was very countered against the deck, what Beaver had in game 1. He can certainly change things up and bring it back. It only takes 2 more games.
It is really unfortunate for Donnie because he was only 13 seconds away from tying that out, which would have been very, very valuable for him. He could have got a second chance where this deck wasn't necessarily a counter. It could have had a lot better matchup.
Yeah, the pressure was just adding on over time.
Cannon card. Every time.
Yeah, Beaver just had the right moment. He knew that Elixir was very low for Donnie, and all the units actually placed really far behind the bridge. So finding a good hold there against the air units. So far, Donnie, of course, leading by a log damage. That's about it. P.E.K.K.A being banned. I thought Beaver was going to hold something big, like the Golem, the Giant, that we see a lot when the P.E.K.K.A is being banned, but he has certainly had a pretty nice mind game here.
Well, at least Donnie can celebrate the fact that he has 84 HP advantage of this game too.
Plus
more
56.
Now. Ooh. Oh, I can't even do that much math. That's too much for me. Oh, Donnie, you're a winning boy. Can you win a little more? We're going to find out because it's a big deck. You can already tell with the way they're holding off. They're probably going to wait to that 1 minute.
And Beaver can actually think about a lot of decks just by those 2 spells. Because these days, you can actually kind of get a good hint in the meta at what kind of deck the opponent is going to play with those 2. And you can also prepare against those 2 spells because now you have a good idea what you're going against already.
So it might be a graveyard deck for Beaver.
Beaver does love graveyard ever since he started playing Clash Royale, of course.
He's got a Mega Minion in play. Just might be another gold deck actually, so I'm kind of wrong on both ends here. So we will see what happens to all this. The Ewa is coming from the backside, and the Mega Minion will take care of all the forces here. And see how this Mega Minion here. And we're going to see the Prince on the left side for Donnie. Is this a Golem deck on your side? It's going to be a Giant deck.
Yeah, he does. He did prepare that.
But the Giant
Dragon. He has the
Prince goes ahead.
He has a Tombstone, and Skeletons with the lay. There's a log already, taking down all of the things.
So I don't think maybe that wasn't the right play for Donnie. The fact that Prince reached the bridge before, but you say it does get 2 punches through, so it's going to be a Lava Hound deck actually. On the side of Beaver, we're going to see the Lava Loon coming in now. If you have anything forward, it's Donnie going to be trying to target things out. The Fireball will be there. It will knock everything away, and it's going to be the first drop. Second drop will definitely come through, and it seems like this is game over.
Only 12 seconds.
That's just 1 more Fireball away.
Yes, exactly. It's going to do 6 more damage. And Giant is very slow. He can't really do anything. Donnie, he will fall against Beaver, and Sandbox will get their first match win tonight.
Oh my word. Sandbox. We were talking about, actually it was not really me, but it was more of Simon talking about this because we were having the argument that since Korea was doing so bad against the other regions, maybe we should start getting worried that even if they do make playoffs, how well could they actually do against the other regions, especially for Japan and Southeast Asia?
It just comes down to the cramming time. The day before the test, you study the night before, and everything is fresh in your mind. And I think Beaver exactly had that against Donnie.
That is organic fresh by Beaver right now, because the entire Sandbox squad knew exactly what to do in the 2v2 and also in the 1v1, and now they're in a state where they're one game very comfortably ahead of everybody else in the competition. And we will see what they have to say after this one.
먼저는 샌드박스에게 축하드립니다.
Congratulations, Sandbox.
对，那这边想要访问的第一个问题呢，就是要问一下，在 Sandbox 这里，他们在赛前对于他们的对手 Baby Gaming 有没有一些特别的准备呢？
첫 번째 질문인데요. 이번에 경기에서 FAB를 마속하는데 혹시 시합하기 전에 특별한 준비를 하고 계셨어요?
For the wildcard, did you do any special preparations?
특별한 준비라기보다 항상
Match.
연습실에서 같이 무슨 덱을 쓸지 연구하고 연습을 한 게 큰 도움이 됐던 것
Study,
같아요.
practice, and analyze a lot of the decks. What
其
we
实
are
也不
supposed
是
to
很
play
特别的
rather
准
than
备，但
studying
当然
about
会
the
针对
opponent.
这个战队他们常常进行的东西，然后会进行战术的研究，然后也会做非常多的练习。
好的，那这边想要问一下第二个问题是，你们韩国分区呢，在常规赛的战绩可能没有到特别的亮眼，而在对上现在呼声很高的日本分区的 Baby Gaming， 你们却赢了下来。对于你们拿下这场胜场，有没有一些感想呢？
사실 최근 샌드박스의 표현을 그렇게 잘하지 않았는데요. 이번에도 또 일본에서 표현 잘하는 그 FAB를 만났는데 이겼으니까 소감은 어떻습니까?
You guys were on actually had a video
요즘
for result.
한국이 해외 팀들의 2대2를 많이 지고 있었는데 이번에
How do
이겨서
you feel?
기분이 매우 좋고요. 또 1대1 때 비버 형이 또 2대0으로 이겨줘서 너무 좋았던 것 같아요.
Feels really good to
觉得
actually
之前
beat
他
them
们在
tonight.
韩国赛区表现的时候，2对2的时候其实都不太好，经常都是输，所以这次能够赢，他们觉得非常的开心。
Addition on that happiness.
好，那这边想要问一下最后一个问题了，就是想要请教一下 Beaver 选手，就是在一开始的时候，他在出战1v1，其实在这个赛季是比较少的。那后来呢，来到了季末，他的表现真的蛮好的，尤其是1v1是越来越多的出场。对于这样的一个战术调配，有没有一些特别的地方？
네, 마지막 질문은 비버한테를 물어볼 질문인데요. 사실은 그 이번에 경기 처음에 시작했을 때는 1대1을 많이 나오지 않았고 요즘은 많이 나왔어요. 그리고 상태도 굉장히 좋았는데 혹시 뭐 이렇게 특별한 작전 방법이나 아니면 비법이 있는지 가르쳐 주세요.
하면서도 작전이라는 기보다는 많이 2대2에 시즌2 들어와서 2대2에 좀 더 자신이 있어서 많이 출전하게 된 것 같고
I was just a lot more confident in my
그래도
2v2.
2대2
That was the reason
연습하면서도
why I played a lot of
1대1
2v2.
연습을 많이 했어가지고 또 자신감도 있었고 오늘 승리해서 더 자신감 얻은 것 같아요.
Recently, I focused a little
就
bit
是
more on
他
1v1.
1对1的战
That's
况
why
还
I
不
felt
错，
a
所以就
little
开始
more
就比较有
confident
自
going
信
in.
心。然后后来还针对1对1有做特别多的练习，然后特别今天1对1又赢了，所以他觉得自己好像对1对1的比赛就更有信心了。
Okay, so that was the interview with Beaver and Sandbox. I don't know how much they expected that interview, because I don't think many of us expected them to beat FAV Gaming on that first matchup today. And this wildcard is looking very, very good for Korea, maybe having the chance to be the top team in the entire competition.
Yep, after the interview, what comes to mind is that Donnie only basically played 1v1, so there's a lot of data to study from, which Sandbox didn't actually do too much. They only studied on, focused on themselves.
Yeah.
And Beaver, he played a lot of 2v2, so lack of data in that part. I think that helped a little bit, actually bringing that Barbarian deck and actually bringing that 2-0 win.
I mean, whatever preparation it did, it worked.
Yes.
And now FAV Gaming on just one game losing streak, and they will be on the heels to see if they can really win out today's games. That will be very important. But Sandbox on a very, very good start here today in Wildcard. So we will get a short break, as we'll be back to go for the second match of the night to see what happens. We'll be right back. Welcome back everyone to CRL Asia Season 2. We're back with the second series of the night, and it's still ongoing for these three teams battling it out to make sure they are the top team of the day so they can take that last slot in the semifinals. And Valve Gaming got one game through it, and it wasn't the result they were looking for.
Well, Sandbox, it's a miracle for them to actually grab that one win. Valve Gaming playing back-to-back. They're playing the second match as well against Chaos Theory. They at least need to have this win, or else we're not going to see them next week.
It's pretty much secured. If they do lose this one, they're not going to be making through to the semifinals. And it's important to know that Japan was one of the strongest regions, if not the strongest, coming into Season 2. And even throughout, we still thought that they maybe are just a little bit edge ahead of Southeast Asia, who is clearly the second best region that we had in this tournament. But we are looking at Valve Gaming, the second best team out of this region, not really having the best day today and losing the first game in basically a blowout, 2-0, 2-0 on 2v2, 1v1 doesn't matter. And now we're going to the second one, see how that really affected them in terms of the mentality.
Well, let's see what happens, because they got a different roster this time. Kenzumeshi kicking in for that 2v2. Not Raden Yakitori is the usual one, but seems like they're going to be on. We tried this a few weeks ago, and it seems like Kenzumeshi is trying to get the atmosphere going on for the team, because this one might be their last one.
They need it, because they're going up against this team, Chaos Theory, a very, very strong team with Benzo Riddell just holding his line in that 1v1 with JTV and Careless. Of course, they get some wins every now and then, and even if they don't, Benzo Riddell is there to win the game for them anyway. So we will see if that's going to be the same case scenario for Chaos Theory today, who's playing their first match of the day today before their second one they will have against Sandbox later in the night. But we'll see how they do, because Valve Gaming, I'm sure they were a little bit scratched in terms of the mentality from that first matchup.
Yep, but 2v2 from Valve Gaming cannot be underestimated, and they're really strong, both teams, I would say. And this matchup is possibly the best one, even though Rad and Yakitori, they've been playing a lot. Kenzumeshi, they were able to win against Tengad and Reiki Jun's opponents on that 2v2. So that shows something, and it was just last weekend, I believe.
Yeah, we're looking at the bans now. Tornado coming from Kenzumeshi, and Oz, who's going to be making his first start today, and is going to be banned out from the Lava Hound from JTV and Careless on that 2v2. Miner and 3 Muskies going to be the bans coming in from Fav and Chaos on that 1v1 respectively, and we will see how that affects the game. Not as many tornadoes anymore, so we're going to have a lot of variety in terms of what deck selection you have to choose from.
But still, Tornado being banned 2v2, always a good idea. It just drags the attack, it just messes up what you are trying to do so many times. And Lava, I think it's also a really good sniping ban, because Japan as a region, they used a lot of Lava Hound, 1v1 as well, not just 2v2. And it's a good idea just to take it out, and let's just keep it on the ground.
I have to say that Kenzumeshi and Oz, they're coming in for the very first time today, but as a whole, Valve Gaming did use a lot of Lava Hounds, so not having that kind of restricts their options just a little bit, and we'll see if JTV and Careless made that right bet, if it does give them rewards later in this part.
That's going to be the thing, as can they use that Royal Giant once again and bring that most comfortable 2v2 deck on this important day, or do you have something else? There will be a patch coming in just a day, but that's a different story for next week. But so far, do you stick with the comfortable one, or do you come up with something else, something crazy? If something crazy, I'm talking about something like the freeze spell.
Well, I mean, either it's going to be valid on this one, as we're going to start off this game one of this 2v2 without that Lava Hound, without that Tornado. What are we going to get? Are we going to get something different, as you were mentioning, G-Clip, or are we going to get something very conventional a day before this patch?
Let's see. Healing.
That was a lot of investment. 8 elixirs just to bats.
And Baby Dragon actually did not go to the miner. So gets the full damage out onto the tower.
Even that poison is going to be 12 already with such a big elixir lead. You can already tell that Oz is telling Kenzumeshi to slow things down, because it seems like the overusage of these defensive units is really not helping them in their cause. And that P.E.K.K.A. is going to hurt the Golem so much.
Yes, and they also have the bomb tower as well. That's going to do some area damage on the Prince that's following right behind as well.
Even this poison is going to be brilliant. It's going to get rid of the bats. It's going to get rid of everything in play. turns into Golemite, and it's still, you know, it's not going to pose too much danger as long as this Infernal Dragon is installed. But
that's
so easy.
Just in time, and they did about 900 damage with just 2 miners in comparison. And all they had to do is defend against that Prince Golem push, which was well done. I think they can just do similar things with that bomb tower. P.E.K.K.A will be there almost every single time. So it's no problem for JTB and Carolus right now.
And we're looking towards Kensmeshi and Oz, and they are going to be in this situation where they're kind of worried because simply they are so behind in elixirs, and now they might get really back to even. But we're going to see the Royal Hogs on the right side, and kind of wonder what they have for this. The Baby Dragon is not an obsolete answer for these Royal Hogs coming from the other side.
You do want to have your Baby Dragon with the Golem as well, so that splits the damage. There's a poison already. Lock to synergize a little better with that. Bomb tower locking onto the Golem. Prince already hitting onto the P.E.K.K.A, but Prince is already too low.
It's going to be a situation where you're just kind of relying on Golemites now to do most of the damage, and basically that one tower damage that was done by Kensmeshi Oz is the same damage that was already done on the both sides of their own tower, and these Royal Hogs are adding now onto the damage.
Down the tower. Actually, that's more than enough damage with the miner last hit. There goes the tower already. There's a push coming from the left side. The Golem Prince once again.
You're gonna see this. Oh, the Dark Prince almost actually connects onto the target, so it was a very dangerous situation. But the P.E.K.K.A is now here. Now this will be melted down by this Infernal Dragon, so it's gonna be a situation you're gonna be a little bit worried. That's 9-11 down to a little bit more as we're seeing this continue on, and 805 is gonna be the HP down to the left tower.
But only 12 seconds to go, so Kensmeshi also got to make a big push right now. That's way too slow to have a Mega Minion over there. So unless they have crazy spells, 2 rockets,
nope,
that's all they need, but they don't have it at the moment.
It will be the end of the game. JTB and Carolus literally took that really aggressive defense from Kensmeshi Oz from the first 5 seconds of that game and really snowballed it from there. Pretty easy one for Chaos Series.
You say pretty very aggressive, but all it took was 2 miners to do 900 damage. And then they played the mind game, switch it up to the other side because you know that Golem was going to be a part of their defense. So that was a brilliant in-game strategy where they just changed it on the fly.
And you would have to wonder why that miners got such big values, because they were so behind in this, and they knew if they spent more to defend against that miner, they'll be further behind. And understandable strategy from Kensmeshi and Oz, but it was seriously just lack of communication in the beginning to defend for those bats. Literally 8 elixirs for 2 on that one.
Yeah, this is exactly what happens to counter that Golem push many times, because it's basically just because it's very slow to attack, and when you just need to do some damage, when you just have 20 seconds left, you are basically finding yourself that you have lost the game already because you have a very slow attack.
It really is, and we're going to look at a mortar. Hoping that this connects. The siege units.
Okay, mortar, but there's no lava for them. So it's going to be a different deck there. They did use the mortar with that lava hound last time.
And it's important to know that siege decks do not work necessarily that well, usually in 2v2, but mortar's going to get a couple of hits off, and it's going to get the tower down to 1686. Okay, so we're going to look at this, and hopefully we're going to get an idea of how well this mortar will be played on both sides. But Kensmeshi Oz gonna go for the right side mortar this time around, all offensive, and now Royal Giant.
When the mortar was placed on the other side, so it's gonna do straight damage, but P.E.K.K.A already destroying that big boy, and he's down already.
You're gonna look at this now. The guards will be doing a pretty good job. The Bard Barrel is gonna be such a valuable tool in this miner and the Barbarian. This is bad situation for JTB Carolus, as we're seeing them do a lot of chip damage. Even the mortar helping out destroy the defensive miner shows you good play for Kensmeshi and Oz.
And had to use a lot of spells on that too. So that's loss for JTB. For Carolus, as Kensmeshi Oz, they keep on pushing a little better with their own push, especially the mortar connecting straight to the tower. That can't really be stopped too well.
Get another mortar here, and the P.E.K.K.A will be here to eat up that damage, but for how long is going to be this question, because these Rascal Girls are going to be doing a pretty good job, and now this coming up to the other side, Royal Giant is going to be targeting out the mortar.
Guards, but Baby Dragon on top. That was actually a really hard defense. Kensmeshi and Oz. So this one connecting a little bit into the side of Kensmeshi and Oz. JTB Carolus, they want to push but their strength actually fades out in the end.
It is. We're going to get very nice guard prediction play from JTV and Careless to block out this miner, but Spika is not going to get through it. Another poison is further going to cement this tower down, and we're going to look at a Royal Giant hoping that it connects to anything, but the Siege deck is actually really hurting this Royal Giant's chance of actually connecting to the tower, so we will see how much it becomes an effect in terms of them eventually winning out, because Kansas Mission is not too far away from that victory here.
Only 960. 3 extra minutes. That's totally possible. So JTB, Careless Chaos Theory, they need perfect defense. Against the miner, they're doing a really good job with the predictions so far, but they gotta do that for the next 2 minutes as well. Will be the tough mission. This time they failed to have the right prediction.
Get a couple more damage on. Now we're gonna get the Dark Prince right behind that P.E.K.K.A. and hoping that it connects to anything. The poison will be there for the Rascal Girls, but the it's gonna be coming on the other side, trying to do some damage on it. And the Siege unit really having a tough time because the mortar is here every single time. And now look at the Royal Giant, it's not gonna connect. What are we gonna get from the Dark Prince here?
Royal Giant never connecting is a pain, as they don't really have a giant skeleton in this game. They're having a hard time defending against the miner as well, so a lot of holes being found in JTB Careless. Against MHCRs, they just have to stick things into those holes. They're doing it every single time, mostly from the miner, but eventually from the poison damage. I think they are going to take this game.
Good positioning coming in from these miners from Kensumeshi and Oz every single time, so we will see how this affects them now, because we're looking at the Royal Giant. It's literally barely getting a shot through, and it's basically going to be game over.
Locked on.
103, that's going to be one more big spell away. As long as this P.E.K.K.A. doesn't get to the tower, it should be a pretty relatively easy game for Kensumeshi and Oz to seal this one off.
Barbarian Barrel and everything, but Lumberjack does lock on and it's damage!
Oh, that was actually a lot.
That was a close one. One more damage from Lumberjack, and a scratch from anything else could have been game as well. So that was a close moment.
That was one of those moments in real life when we kind of just let go of our phone because we knew we guaranteed the victory. And get that surprising hit with the Lumberjack. That's a lot faster than what you sometimes may think. And especially in Oz, they almost literally threw that game for themselves. But thankfully, they won game 2. Now we're going to go to game 3, kind of wondering who's going to be ahead.
Yes, that final moment was pretty scary.
Yeah.
It's JTB Careless. They put down everything on that bridge, basically spamming. Lumberjack luckily went through all the ground units. A few hits, but just not too close. And they still have one more chance. Both teams comes out to the final game of 2v2.
And we're going to get started right away with it. Against mentioning Oz, after winning game 2, find a little more confidence that they can actually do this. But JT and Carel's want to go back to their game 1 ways to make sure they can grab this victory, making it easy for Pensarito to pick up this win.
Seems like the miner is the charm for Chaos Theory at the moment, but this time the guard's perfect placement.
And thankfully the baby dragon was the only thing summoned against the bats. That was very important to make sure you don't waste 8 elixirs on that one. But gonna get the Royal Giant again as we see the golem on the bottom side, but the bomb tower will be here doing a lot of damage, and these bats will take care of the Mega Minion. Now doing damage onto the Royal Giant as well. It's not gonna get a single hit.
So not a bad one, but Chaos Theory, they also do have the P.E.K.K.A., so counters after counters. So I think this one will basically come down to the cycle of the spells, which we didn't really see too many. There's that first poison.
You see that the golem is targeting at the golem first rather than the prince, so it is important to know that the golemites will definitely be broken down before anything does happen. You can see a very much spam coming on that bridge, and we will see what JT and Careless gets. That's going to require a lot of defense here for Kensumeshi Oz.
Slowing it down pretty well, but the miner's getting free hit on the back, and with the magic archer, okay, does not have the penetration angle at all. So that's a good news for Kensumeshi and Oz.
We gotta understand that a lot of elixirs were invested there by JT and Careless for that push, but are we gonna get more here? Because it seems like the bomb tower will take care of everything, but time to think, just settle things down before we move on to that next phase.
The golem is a little too slow. And there's that bomb tower. Unless they have something like lightning, it will be actually really hard to get that golem all the way into the Princess Tower, which they want to do every single time. Just trying to cycle out the snowball.
Trying to not leak elixirs as much as they can. Talking about cycling, they get another offensive poison down. just take care of this Magic Archer, and we're gonna look at this Lumberjack get through, but we're gonna see more here because the Royal Giant is now here in time. The Bomb Tower does a very good job, and the Prince will be here for the Miner. Everything seems to be on point.
Oh, gets charged onto the tower.
Yeah, it's very, very important. And the Royal Giant now starting to get some hits off, and it's gonna get about a couple of hits, and that's gonna be 392 down. And JT and Carol is not many HP away in terms of winning at this game. Other than spell cycling, Ken's Machinaws has never really gotten decent damage on that left tower.
Getting that Bomb Tower down. Does not even get the explosion damage onto the tower from the Golem. So they are in big trouble when 2-2-4 only left for Kenzumeshi. They're literally holding on to their final rope.
Oh, putting the pressure onto the right side makes this so easy. You have to make your opponents waste a lot of elixirs just to defend the right side, but we know it's basically Fireball and a little spell away to zap is all you need. And JT and Careless picking up game 1 victory, losing game 2, but it doesn't matter. They're gonna win game 3 and pick up set 1 to give Benzerito on that 1v1 a lot of relief of pressure to go with.
Hey Joe, are we actually going to have FOB Gaming lose 2 in a row? That's pretty unheard of, and which could happen because this is basically round robin between 3 teams. Anything can happen tonight, but this is quite unexpected. FOB Gaming losing both of their 2v2s already tonight.
I mean, understanding they can lose against Chaos 3 was a little bit expected because they're very evenly matched in terms of those 2 regions doing well throughout the season, but against Korea, I honestly did not. I honestly thought the Sandbox would go 0-2 today, and we thought that it would be an area where it would be a fight between Japan and Southeast Asia, to be honest, because you come into this season, by the end of it, it seemed as if Southeast Asia and Japan were the best regions in this tournament, and understandably so, they have the best records to show that in line, so... Oh man, what's going on here?
He's under a lot of pressure.
Okay.
He's under a tremendous amount of pressure, and he knows that if he makes a single mistake, that this run of 10+ weeks of Season 2, it's going to be over at the moment. So,
oh man, I think he's
under that much pressure, under that much emotional feelings, that's going to be a very hard 1v1 for Rad, and he's up against a very strong player right here.
I mean, I think he's also reflecting back to his 2v2 game where he thought he could have won out with his friend Yakitori, but
match 1.
Yeah, match 1, and losing to Sandbox like that kind of hurt their chance quite a bit. And oh man, I mean, Benzerido's looking towards that way, and he kind of doesn't know what to do. But you are looking towards FOB Gaming, literally just 1 match away, 1 set away from losing out this one. But you really got to feel for them because they had an incredible season, topping over GameWith to get here. But really just 1 set away from losing this entire tournament.
But it comes down to the game. Once you are focused, you're zoned into the game, everything does not matter. As long as you win, that's all these players should care about. And right now, they're just burning time. Seems like maybe we're going to wait for that double elixir time already.
And I like that Benzerido's not trying to go for any
Never mind.
sneaky. Oh, we'll talk about going sneaky. I mean, it's actually Rad trying to go sneaky on that one. Good old boy Rad on that one, but... You know, it is very respectful that these are very young players in high level of competition, so that pressure, once it builds up like this, it is very understandable.
Expo all of a sudden, though.
Wow, Expo, and we're going to get a P.E.K.K.A here.
Oh man, Radis has got this game in his hands.
Should be, but if you get good defense going, this actually P.E.K.K.A makes it tough to go with it, and talk about everything to slow
Not a
things
single
down.
hit.
And that's it, and the Royal Ghost gets about a couple of hits, but the Expo comes out as winner. This is not the typical 2.9 Expo cycle there.
Certainly not that one. But a very cheap cycle, because of course with Expo you do want to have a very low cycle defending and try to get everything else, but he does have the Royal Hogs as well.
And Fireball. And for the Royal Hogs, you're really looking towards Rad. How do you win this game? Because Expo, maybe you can stop it with the P.E.K.K.A, but they have every type of slow units
And also
there.
you can stop it with the Royal Hogs, but that's killing your own winning condition
And
as well.
Expo
That's something Rad has to choose in the coming cycles. I think we're about to see that very soon.
It's important to know that basically the Expo connecting every single time will give further advantages over to the side of Benzerido, because it will all build up and it will eventually be a tower down by the end of the story, and you're really just busy defending all day long, Rad, and you have no counter push going.
It's basically what comes down to the Expo deck. It's you put one down, you protect it with everything else.
Yeah.
And that's what you do. Make sure it connects to the tower this time with the Hogs, and Expo actually further away, so it's not going to do straight damage. This one's for the defense. He knew that the cycle was coming for those Hogs.
Oh,
And a tornado!
Oh my
Suddenly
word.
a tornado! That's not been banned this time in 1v1.
it's true.
Activates the King Tower. What a bad news. A tragedy, actually.
With that Ice Wizard, you know the tornado is going to do wonders, and
This
that
one's going to be
combination.
very, very tough for Rad.
It's been like that for the entire game so far. The Fireball Charge is trying to slow down the Expo, but in reality, you're not getting the damage that you need, and we're going to see Rad switch up to an offensive Expo very, very soon here, G-Clip. We will see if that will be the ultimate finish now, because we're looking at a split Royal Hogs, and now we're going to see the offensive Expo, and we're going to see if this is seemingly the answer.
And Expo does lock into the P.E.K.K.A, so those street shots into the tower yet.
Tornado's ready too, and we're going to see anything and everything just to make sure this P.E.K.K.A is slowed down. Wow. This Barbarian Barrel does a good job. The Ice Wizard finally was taken down, but the Royal Ghost now going to be dragged in. And Royal Hogs coming on the other end.
Ooh,
This is
Fireball,
actually
that
really
was
good.
actually not the best one. So this Hogs still very far away, over 2,000 damage, but this one actually was a pretty good attack. Forced a lot of spell use.
Yeah, Tornado Fireball would have been a little bit better, but it gets the fire off before the Tornado on that one. They're going to switch back to a defensive Expo. Different side of Panzer Riddell.
Getting down that Archer. The Expo arrow is certainly stronger, with longer range. A lot more elixir put into it too.
We'll see Rad just trying to pressure onto both sides, and what he can get, because the Ewis is now coming out. The Rascal Boy is going to be targeted down, but anything else coming now is going to be all about decision making, and one little decision mistake can ruin this such a heavy utility deck. With Expo, just one opportunity is all you need. You really look at the P.E.K.K.A, all opportunities, just one opportunity is all you need.
That's exactly what Benzer is trying to do. He's going to save up a lot of elixirs with that defensive Expo, and then just suddenly onto the left side or even onto the right side, he's going to get that lock onto the tower. That's what he's trying to go for, because he's leading certainly in this game.
In theory, if he can get one good run going with the Expo, you can literally get a fresh tower down in one push.
Because Rad is still 2,000s away each tower, left and right. So that's a pretty hard thing to do, unless you have P.E.K.K.A going straight. There's a second Expo on the left. He was expecting that, of course.
Get the Rascal Girls out of there with the
Pretty
log.
good log.
P.E.K.K.A is there to eat up the damage, and we're going to see this double Ice Wizard. This is dangerous, dangerous party. And look at this now. The Barbarian Barrel does a good job of targeting out the Expo, so it will not be able to connect to a target.
And also that angle from the Magic Archer from the right shooting left, that was actually brilliant coming out from Rad. But second Expo is already here. There's a log again. And saving up. Okay, not for the P.E.K.K.A this time.
Gonna be looking at this now. It doesn't really need a P.E.K.K.A to get that down. We will be looking at this E-Wiz gonna go on, but 38 seconds left to go. This Expo somehow has to get a connection through, but it seems like with 30 more seconds left. Oh, this is a cheeky effort, but it did not work. We saw
P.E.K.K.A's
this.
pretty heavy.
Yeah, we see this work when a Knight is summoned like that, and you can drag it behind the tower. Then you can get the Expo to connect again.
Yeah,
but
you bring it out of the range of the Expo and then
exactly
make it connect it to the tower, but that was not correctly done onto the P.E.K.K.A. It's pretty heavy.
Really is, and dragged it back very, very slowly at a time. This Magic Archer.
Yeah, that's going to cost a few hundreds, but seems like we're going to have a tie between these two players in the first game.
Rad and Yakitori was no longer a thing in match number one, so Rad all by himself with that pressure at least gets a tie in a bad situation for him. And we will see how this game 2 plays out, because all the more it seems like Benzer Riddle might be frustrated at this game 1 performance on that one.
Yeah, with that Expo, Rad did not give him any holes. With those defensive Expos, he was trying to find the cycle, but with the P.E.K.K.A, Rad had a very good idea very soon. Right after the secondary Expos, he lost about 1,500, a little more than that. And then he's got a perfect cycle against it. Had the Electro Wizard, the Rascals, the P.E.K.K.A. So it goes with the same tiebreak rules for now. And we do have a regain.
He said oops. That wasn't the right email. That wasn't the right email. Rad was just trying to say hi. He was just putting out his princess peace sign up, you know. Benzer Riddle had the irritated goblin face. And he said oops, just to make sure that it was the wrong email. He didn't mean it. Oh, God.
Oh, you can emote all you want. You can still lose the game.
I'm telling you, this emo game is on fire recently with the new ones introduced. They're quite good.
I'm waiting for the Electro Dragon.
Oh, it's just got released though. We're looking at it now. The Dark Prince almost charging into this bowler. It will not happen. So good tornado to make sure this bowler has extra time to get rid of the Giant before it gets a single punch. I should say it is a very heavy investment. 3 extra.
Yeah, but still, bowler against the Prince Giant deck is actually a great counter, I would say, against all the charges and all. It goes through all the units, the big units. And he also has an Inferno Dragon, so right now, as long as he doesn't get lost in the middle with the cycle, he should be okay against all those heavy units.
Yeah, we're gonna be looking at this with basically the Inferno
Good
Dragon
angle on the bowler too.
on the plate, and look at this now.
Oh,
Nicely done with that long, and we're gonna once again look at another tornado here just to make sure this Ice Wizard can get the most effective value, and it does. And Rad, kind of wondering what he should add on to this in terms of forming up another counterattack. The Ice Wizard kind of creeping forward. It's not the best scenario for him.
well, Ice Wizard doesn't really do too much damage. It's mostly for the slow, I would say. The Dark Prince, good too. And as Spencer, he would love to have both Prince behind that Giant, but it's pretty hard to set that up as a 1v1 without the Elixir Collector at all. That's also the reason why instead of Golem, he has a Giant, because with Golem, it's way too heavy sometimes.
And it seems like Rad is just defending, and it really is kind of serving up to his role in 2v2 usually. You have to defend first before you attack, but when you can't get defense going, you really can't find any offense. It seems like Rad has been that case since game 1, and it seems like it's still continuing here.
Pretty good log damage onto Electro Wizard as well. Rad's still hiding those 2 cards. I think he's about to make that play very soon with this big push coming. Double that bowler.
Wow, double bowler, but that's a good poison value. And now we're going to see a graveyard for the very first time here today. We're going to be looking at this now. Will he be able to stop it? The log is going to help supplement that defense. And this graveyard is going to get a little bit, but altogether it stays at 1663 for the longest of time.
Yeah, a few hundred damage, and Inferno Dragon actually locks onto the Prince that was just in front of a tower. And also gets a charge!
Ooh, 13-11, but the investment is now going towards the right side, making the graveyard deck shift on the other angle, and we will now see if this becomes a good enough a play, because now, if you are a Rad, you just can't focus on the left side anymore.
He does have the guard, but after the logs take down those guards, he has a tornado. Okay, brings it back to one side. It's going to help a little bit. But where does Rad actually attack into? Only the left side? That's going to be a tough choice.
He's going to have to now, because looking towards another defensive effort. The effort by him. And
this time defending without the bowler, so a little less effective with a lot more elixir actually being used by Rad here.
We're going to get this now, and get another bowler in play. And this is a great graveyard opportunity. We're going to get the poison available as well. 3 elixirs down to 4 elixirs. We'll see if he uses the offensive poison. He does not. He does now. So we were going to see him how that affects the plays here. Only getting the E-Wiz down, but still adding just about a little over 200 damage onto the tower as well.
About, if you only look at the left side, which should be the game-ending side, it's about as even. 50, less than 50 HP away. Comes down to 1 single control. Bowler.
Oh, good poison value.
This time, but double the Prince attack. So good setup for both.
And get this E-Wiz to make sure this meltdown does not happen. And we're going to get an offensive poison, a little bit aggressive. And I don't know if that was the best position ever, but we will get all the units out regardless.
But he did end up spending a little bit more, and this Ice Wizard doesn't really pair up with anything.
You can see that he's a little bit frustrated by the expression on his face, Rad.
So that's a slight loss already for Rad, so this attack will be a little bit scarier.
Actually, this seems like a bigger elixir lead than we might have initially thought, because look at this. 1 elixir left, but he has so many units down on that field already.
They're trying to maximize that rock damage, and this tornado did its job.
Very, very nicely done. Now they're even in elixir, sort of, and a little bit ahead on the side of Rad, actually, but we're going to look at how long this bowler can survive, because it seems like a double bowler coming out should help the cause just a little bit.
He's holding that graveyard. Has the tornado, doesn't even need it this time. Maybe the perfect time for the graveyard. Let's see.
Really is, and we're gonna see a tornado on the offensive end, maybe, but good tornado. And we're gonna see how this boulder connects because it's almost connecting onto the tower. It will get that one boulder off, and we're gonna get that 250, which is about a poison. And you basically don't have any other spell. You have to rely on that poison
double
or
poison.
anything else.
A double poison and any other damage. One scratch from a skeleton plus the poison will be game ending. So Rad certainly looking for that chance. There's that poison, but you gotta stop this attack first.
Graveyard?
Graveyard and the poison.
Oh, he's just trying to finish
That's
up the
gonna
game.
be game.
Oh my goodness, he didn't have much time, and Rad. Poison graveyard play? Poison first, then graveyard. Kind of shows you the desperation effort just to get the extra HP
Yes,
off.
he had to because there was that major push coming with the charges. So he had to throw down everything. Tornado, of course, doesn't do the damage.
And the time was about to run out too, so it
Yes.
would have been another tie if it didn't get enough damage done. So double poison, never a possibility. So just threw that graveyard out there and it worked. Got that extra HP down.
And he's leading 1-0.
Wow,
After
all
that much emotional put in before the game, he's got it. He's a true gamer. And let's go into game 3. We had the first game tied. That's why it's game 3.
Okay, let's see if he sends a right emote this time. No emote from Benzeril. He's mad.
You're really into emotes, Joel.
I like it. It's very interactive, and you can kind of read into the player's emotions by which
Can you read
emote.
the cards? That's gonna come
No,
out right
I don't
after.
care about the cards. I care about the emotes, Chick. Like, come on.
Why don't you just do emotes for the 3 minutes and lose the game?
You know what? G-Club, I've had enough.
Yes.
I've had enough of your hate of emotes.
I love you too.
Emotes are great, and you cannot hate them. Now we're going on to this game. Benzeril one game down after a game 1 tie and nearly a game 2 tie, but got that split HP in the end. So Rad is going to be up, and Benzeril is going down, and going to send that golem to hopefully make a big difference here.
Oh, Barbarian, huh?
That hurts.
Oh, yes.
That is painful if you're a golem user. And you see the Barbarian deck on the other side here.
Those Barbarians, when they stack up to
Oh,
their
the magic
golem,
gotcha.
Ooh, getting all that
Penetration.
damage into the tower as well.
That is the freest of damages in the world. The cannon cart. Yeah, this is looking tough,
Yes.
tough for Benzeril.
And that's what, and the cannon cart actually becomes a structure as well. So the golem actually oftentimes goes for that cannon cart too. This time it took some damage, but did a little more with that magic archer.
And it's a little bit ahead on Elixir as well, just about 2, 1.5 maybe, but
Yes.
yeah, Rad looking towards Benzeril, and now we're gonna see what happens here. Now pushing the other side. Oh man.
It's not too much pressure, but we'll get 2 good hits.
And that really makes it lower than the left HP. And the 2 hits from the Barbarian, you just can't ignore that.
Hey, 2 elixirs for that much damage.
Exactly. You seem to sometimes ignore those Barbarian damages coming through, but when it's a Barbarian for 2 elixirs, you just can't ignore it.
Tornado, that's going to activate the King Tower, which will help a lot more, but it's certainly putting out some damage already to the Princess Tower on the right.
Oh, the Magic Archer with the 1 Royal Hog did a very, very good job on that one. We're going to be looking at another one, the Cannon Cart coming through, and we're going to see how much damage it can do against the Golem, and we're going to see the Lumberjack just chop down that cannon in. Once again, you're going to track it right as another structure here. We will see this Baby Dragon being targeted down.
It's really tough because the Lumberjack has always been slowed down for the Barbarian.
Oh,
Here comes the real push again, once again.
No fireball. It's just poison, and really, it's not. That tower is gone in a hurry.
Gone.
And we're gonna see another Barbarian hunt, and this Mega Minion does not want to target. It just has aiming anything it's in front of, and this is looking like that one push that has to make a difference because Rad, he's 7 seconds away from getting his team the first win in this wildcard. We might get to exactly that. We're gonna get a 2-0 by that 1v1 player Rad, no longer 2v2, and he's gonna get his team the win.
What a player. What a player, and in this important match, it shows up to 1v1 with that much emotion. At the first game tied, so he actually buys a lot of time for himself to come down and brings that game 2 and 3 for his team.
Such an emotional surge for Rad on him. The fact that he couldn't convert on that 2v2 in that match 1 against Sandbox, you gotta feel for him because he has been very successful along with his side Yakitori for the entire season. And when it is the most important match of today, falling down that 2v2 I'm sure feels really harsh on him.
Yes, I know. Those kind of pressure, I'm sure we cannot understand fully. The most amount of pressure when I had for Clash Royale was that our clan was in the last place and I played the last clash game, the clan war game. If I win, we move up one spot. If I lose, we stay on that bottom.
We were still at silver then. It didn't matter. We were gonna get to gold anyway. G-Clip.
But here comes King of the Hill.
Well.
1-1 tied. Look at that. Kenzumeshi up first. Careless Ray back as Benjamin Riddell. Okay.
Yeah.
Rad going against, possibly going against Benjamin Riddell again at the end.
He's gonna be the last man up, so if Kenzumeshi can get an all kill, that really isn't necessary, but Kenzumeshi has a 4-2 record on that 1v1, 0-3 on that King of the Hills, which is a little bit surprising.
Yes, and then after those 3 losses, he actually did not come out to the King of the Hill at all. Just some 2v2s, some 1v1s, not too many times actually being played. And and then right after, Oz just kicked in and he had a 3-0 against, I believe, Detonation. That was a big move for the team.
Well, good old Kent is gonna be hoping to get some wins right here, but against Careless, formerly a 2v2 player, doesn't play too much 1v1, 0-2 on that one. King of the Hill, he does a little bit better at 4-2. So
yeah, he's usually in the middle or the last one to go in the King of the Hill. I think this is the first time where he's up first. He usually finishes up with just 1 win, 2 wins, and wins the series. I like that, but this is his first time, of course. Same King of the Hill, just has to win 1 game and then move on to the next player.
yeah, we're gonna see how this team from Indonesia is going to be able to do against a team from Japan, FOV Gaming, the second best team from that region. We're gonna look at Careless. We're gonna see how he does. King of the Hill is getting underway. Good luck just being thrown out on both sides. And Careless actually following Rad in his emote patterns there. Kent just giving him the love where he needs it the most.
Giant being dropped as Careless actually uses a lot of Royal Ghost, Inferno Dragon. Lots of ones to slow down on, like the Electro Wizard.
Lava Loon from Careless maybe.
Yep, there's that Royal Ghost.
Gonna look at the Prince now. He's gonna get the charge up. The Bandit will be here. Bandit, the Bats will be here, and the Inferno Dragon will be melting down the Dragon. Then this is just 1 punch. The Prince is gonna be taken care of by the Tombstone. Very nicely done by Careless on that one.
Yeah, exactly. Seems like both players just went for the comfortable deck on this important match, of course.
Yeah, the Hunter, that's going to be very useful if it does turn out to be a Lava Loon deck for Careless. It's going to be available to get that balloon in time. And let's see what happens here. Really no big cards being unveiled by Kenzumeshi and Careless. It's been about that Giant. Is it the 3 Muskies on the end? It's going to be something else. We're going to find out though, but looking at another Royal Ghost. This time it will be targeted by the Dark Prince. So it's going to be a double Prince deck for Kenzumeshi to support this Giant push.
Yes, with the real Prince, we saw that coming very soon with the Giant, but because of that, Royal Ghost onto the other side, and he's basically forced to use those Princes. Which means he can't really line up with the Giant, losing a lot of power. He does get the Inferno Dragon, of course, this time 1 punch. And Kenzumeshi does actually get the favor out of this attack.
So it's actually going to be a Royal Hogs deck here, and the Hunter will do a pretty good job, but not the best in terms of that losing out in 1 elixir, but still losing out in HP as well.
Kenzumeshi has the Hunter plus the Log Fireball. So against those Royal Hogs, it's actually a good amount of defense for him.
So what happens now? We're looking towards the direction where Kenzumeshi going to be sending another Giant. This time I'm sure he wants to have those double Prints right behind that Giant, and it's going to start off with the regular Prince now. Moving on, and this Inferno Dragon on Careless side on defense. Now with Royal Hogs on the right side trying to go for this damage now.
The Hogs doing a pretty good job, and on the other side, Giant not as much as a Tombstone. Skeleton's actually doing a lot of damage along with the Bats in the air.
We're going to see a pretty big push coming on the opposite end. Kenzumeshi has to somehow defend against this very, very well, but if the Royal Ghost get 1 swipe, we'll be limiting it down to 1,300. And Careless a little bit on the lead as we see for this first game. Really no winner yet as we come into this now overtime. That will be now points.
Of course, no charge. Dark Prince just used the Genseraska, which could be a good use, but he of course wants to line it up with the Giant. Has been Prince a lot of time on the left, because he was forced to use the Dark Prince onto the right, which is not really big of a help. But there's a lot of skeletons.
Look at this fireball that will target most things in play, and Skeletons coming from the Tombstone does a very good job once again. We're going to get a 3-to-1 split.
Both players actually switch sides. Hogs onto the left, Giant all of a sudden onto the right side this time.
It's going to be a good situation for Careless to get more damage done eventually, but we're going to see how much this Giant can get done. Really nothing. Instead of only going to get 2 swipes in.
2 punches, and he can still go for that left side. Both players can still go for that left side. 2 minutes, that's a lot of time left in this game.
See this Giant moving along, trying to look for that miraculous push that it hasn't been getting for the entire time. Of course, the Tombstone was always so good at reeling this away, and we're going to be looking at another push to the right side with the Rascals in. Really nothing happening now. This fireball is going to be marking things away, and bats will be there. And, looking at another log that's not going to be doing too much. And
Royal Hogs are actually doing at least some damage every single time.
yeah,
That's going to be the scary thing, going down below 400. Okay, it does have fireball log, so after a few good defense, Carlos can throw down things, and that could be just game like that.
double fireball on to do it with the log, and we're going to be looking at this, and the Giant punch is going to the wrong place, and we're going to be now looking towards another Rascal push. And I don't get anything from this. The Royal Hogs, is it coming? They are, and we're going to see how much they can get down, because anything below 201.
Oh, but that's way too much damage with the log. That should be game.
Careless gets the win, and Ken Sameshi loses yet another King of the Hill after his appearance in a very long time. He is now once again in a loss streak, and we're going to see Careless move on to his second opponent to see if he can beat another one.
That's a good double Prince Giant. Still very solid. Good deck, I would say. But Careless forcing the Dark Prince onto the other side every single time. Oftentimes with the Rascals actually not splitting up, putting both the Gumbos onto the right lane. Forced out the Dark Prince. Really nicely done. Controlling the game, just reading a nice cycle. You can't really have anything else than that with the double Prince stack.
We're going to go with Donnie. It's the second one in line for FOF Gaming, and he's had an impressive record thus far. 4-2 on 1v1. Only lost that second series due to today's match against Sandbox, but the King of the Hill 8-2. He doesn't lose many King of the Hill's matches, and he feels like it's very necessary for him to win now.
Yeah, not just his 1v1 record, which has a lot of 2-0s. His King of the Hill has streaks after streaks. And that comes down to a lot of experience. His deck choice is brilliant, but sometimes even against the counter deck, he has won a few games. So I think Don is really the key point in this King of the Hill. If he loses to Careless, that's a big problem for FOF Gaming, but I think he has a very good chance of coming back.
Okay, Careless sends out the emotes, but no emotes sent out by Donnie on that one. And gonna go to this game, kind of wondering if Donnie can continue on his streak to get another win. We're gonna see Careless pull off a very impressive consecutive victories here against FOF Gaming.
Don uses a lot of Poison Miner combo, but Miner was banned by FOF Gaming themselves. So let's see what else that he's got in hand. As it could just be the Royal Hogs.
Ooh, Careless putting out the provocations, telling him that he is bored out of his mind. And Careless will break the silence. What this happen? It's gonna force Donnie to play now the Tombstone in. Of course, the Bandit, it's just gonna be getting the charge onto the Tombstone, but really nothing happening for him.
He certainly swapped out a deck.
Donnie's
he can
definitely
just
playing Lava Loon.
Can be the bridge spam.
Danny's definitely playing Lava Loon, so it's very interesting to see how this will affect the plays here, because Careless, you talk about a push that will be coming from both ends, and it might just be controlled with the Royal Ghost, with obviously the Bandit, and P.E.K.K.A is probably going to be in here as well. Oh, wait, this is a Golem deck.
Now he feels it. I think Careless felt the exact same thing when that Dark Witch was put down.
The Night Witch really helps us kind of believe that this is going to be another Golem push, but it's important to know that with the Tombstone, it is a new variant that has kind of trended in meta recently, so we are looking towards another one where the Bandit will once again just be targeted at the Tombstone, not going to get anything else out of it, so pretty even trade.
Bandit really won't be doing too much when there's so many air and when there's Tombstone especially in the middle. That's why Carolus is kind of throwing that out to trade it with that Tombstone.
The EWIS to stop the world goes from play, and we're going to see the pick for the very first time from Carolus. So Golem onto the same side, so it's a little bit interesting of a play.
But Golem was actually put down after the P.E.K.K.A. And I think Donnie wants to stop it before it actually destroys the Golem. And the Battle Ram exactly onto the other side with the minions.
Okay, the Battle Ram will be reeled in by that Tombstone, but what else we're going to get, because the Zap is now coming through, and this Golem still being carved down by the P.E.K.K.A. is not good news for Donnie.
I think Carlos wanted to test out because it seemed like a Golem back for sure, and he had the P.E.K.K.A. first. Still Golem being put out all the way in there because it was put out later. P.E.K.K.A. took a lot more damage than it should before.
Yeah, look at this now, the Tombstone, another one just reeling in this Battle Ram, and even with the Zap that could come through towards the Skeleton, it really isn't worth too much because as if basically it is the pushing Golem in terms of the Golemites now, and it probably was not going to get very far from here.
Yeah, P.E.K.K.A. mostly, of course, being defensively used. Still Golem getting through because he doesn't have any structure of his own. That's going to be the main source. This one may be a little bit too strong. Tombstone, of course, will be coming down.
P.E.K.K.A. is here as well, but we're going to be looking towards this charge, and Minion will do a pretty good job swiping things away, but we're going to go to 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in overtime, of course, with lots of HP for both of these players, and let's see this P.E.K.K.A. counter against the Golem, see if this Nightwish can get there.
The Electro Wizard is trying to delay. Ooh, good bandit use, actually. You're getting the dash into the tower as well. That's going to connect a lot of damage, but as a counter, he does take some damage from the Golem as well, so that's about as even as in the trade, the last attack.
Well, 1,300 down, and we're going to see how this becomes a factor in terms of more and more decisions being played. But he was slowing things down for now, and nothing else really coming for what we're going to get for this final 2 minutes, because it's been a day full of these all time being used for all these players, and it becomes another case today where it seems like we had a lot of times, we had a lot of games that almost went to another
yes,
time.
but Carolus is changing things up with the Battle Ram spawning all the way from the back. That's why he has the Bandit, because he wants to get the dash into the Tombstone to get that Battle Ram going into straight to the tower. So he's changing up a cycle a little bit here. Donnie's responding actually pretty nicely against it.
Donnie's going to be throwing down the Tombstone for that Bandit, going to throw everything else down to the other side where any investment is going to be on Donnie. Now this Battle Ram will
without
connect.
that Tombstone, this is exactly what Carolus wanted with that cycle change. As he's getting some damage in, but still quite away as he has his left one down to 1100.
And I feel like this is going to be coming again.
And even the bats connecting.
Okay.
Getting one shot each time from the Electro Wizard, brings it down to 914.
We're going to see this Battle Ram connect onto the left side, but Tombstone is there this time to reel in the damage and make sure we take all the charge through. So, well played being shown by Carolus, kind of predicts that this is going to be a loss for him, and 217. Going to be a fireball and a log away. And
exactly. As seemed like Carolus had the right move because he changed the cycle down. He was able to push a little further.
Yeah, I'm just going to give up. It's not even going to talk about this because it is eventually going to be over in time, and 7 seconds was not enough for him to stall it out for a tie-in. And what a long one once again. We're getting a lot of these very long matches in these 1v1s, and Donnie eventually comes out as winner.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. It just tells that these players are really, really good with the defense. It just shows the level of play of Clash Royale, how good these players are, and why they're standing here with the wildcard matches. Donnie, after that change with the Carolus, which seemed like a very powerful one after the first Battle Ram actually connected into the tower, I was initially thinking, okay, this is a pretty good attack, but at that moment, Donnie found the perfect cycle against it.
We're going to get the second player, I believe, from Chaos Theory. It's going to be Ray Baggis, and he hasn't won any games so far, just 1v1. one loss in that streak, and
Yes.
King of the Hill, one game that he has efforted to play, he's lost that one as well.
Yes, I do remember when he came down to the King of the Hill, as that was not the most impressive game
Not
that
really.
we've seen, and I think he's in the middle again. Let's see what he's got, because this is a very important game for yourself. Second one up, second player from both teams, 1-1 tied.
Donnie, what will you do? What will you bring? We're gonna see it very slowly here as Ray Baggett is still holding things through and just gonna wait for the right timing to play his first card though.
That's going to take some time, but we do see the truce break with some Barbarian Barrels.
Okay,
Not
well,
this time.
nothing. And
Oh, in the midst of time, we can talk about the tiebreak rule, how it's going to go down. Because we have 3 teams actually. First, of course, set score, then game score, then crown counts.
Yeah.
If they all tie until the crown counts, we're actually going to have a rematch.
Deathmatch, yeah?
Yeah, a rematch of 1v1s.
Right.
1v1s only. I believe it's a best of 3s, 1v1s. 3 players actually drawn out by the referees. So it's not, they don't get to choose the roster.
Right.
So it's going to be a very hard game, depending on how the draw, how random it is.
You would have definitely liked that role if you're King Zone, literally having 4 players, not much to choose from there, but I think it goes the same way for Chaos Theory because they only have basically 4 active players that they can play
But still,
with.
if you count the sets, the games, the crown counts, I think we can decide who's the winner is going to be. So every
Sure.
single crown they take from these games are very, very important because we could have that kind of situation, especially when 3 teams go against each other.
And when the crown decides how well you have done as a team, and you can't get to a situation where you're going to feel like this 1 minute mark coming very soon in 15 seconds, that you can feel confident that you are going to be the best team in this wildcard to be the 4th best team going to the playoffs. But we're going to see the golem from Ray Baggett. What we're going to see.
The golem, let's go. And it might just be done with a single attack. As Donnie actually threw down the log, that's, I would say, not 2, just 1 elixir loss. Before the golem of Ray Baggett actually came down, there's that poison already.
Going to be targeting out the Nightwish, but it's not going to be too much of it. So
Yeah.
place a little bit higher Ray Baggett, but
The tornado actually does not really bring it into the poison as well.
No,
The golem got the rage and lines up with the tower and does some damage.
I guess a little bit disappointing there in terms of aligning up his units, but
Some less synergy, but the real push is coming down. Danny actually, because all of his back troops were delayed, he's going to have another golem just in time.
look at this now. Ray Baggett is trying to defend against this golem push.
This
but
golem is way too strong already.
Yikes. And this Nightwish.
Very healthy one. Nightwitch doing damage to the tower. That's bad news.
Ought to be a good one, and another punch comes before it explodes to 7-10.
Oh my goodness, this may be actually really cool, close to game with just a fireball and a few logs away now.
Yep, it's going to be poison. It's going to be something that's Ray Baggett has, but Donnie with the fireball and the log is a lot more in terms of that single spell damage. And 498 doesn't really take much. Just make sure that golem reaches a tower, gets at least the explosion damage. That probably will secure the win over towards Donnie.
Yep, Ray Baggett using that poison once again. But he wants to line it up with that tornado. This time, a lot better of a use. He's got that rage going, but very low elixir. Does drop that tombstone, delayed thing. But that is not going to stop the inimitable as
Yep, that's it. And Ray Baggett doesn't have an answer for this one. It's
troop
gonna
of
be the
units finish that crown, and that's going to be it.
Ray Baggett had his best efforts again, but will record a second loss in the season for the King of the Hills. And now we're going to go into the last one, Benzer Riddell. And a little bit of frustration for Benzer Riddell, I'm sure, obviously, because it always seems like it always comes down to him to whether decide whether this team is going to win a match or not. It really is in his hands, seemingly more times than not.
And sometimes he was actually the first one up and destroys the opponent with the 3-0.
Yep.
But he's still out there. He's the last one. If he records a loss, that's going to be a loss for Chaos Theory. Of course, FOB Gaming, they still have Rad available for that 3rd player. We'll see, because this player is a monster on that stage.
Yeah, we're going to see Benzer Riddell with 11-4 on that King of the Hills record. We're gonna see if he can add another one, because he definitely needs to now, because Chaos Theory losing one once again puts them at a disadvantage, not having the best of opportunities to get into the next round, and you have to make sure you win as many matches as you can. And we're gonna go to tiebreaker rules if needed, but if you can just win 2 games in a row, you're gonna feel good that your chances are pretty clear to make it to the next round.
As he did lose against Rad in that 1v1, I'm sure he wants to take that revenge. But not just thinking about the revenge, this match matters the most.
Gonna go to Donnie after he just beat 2 opponents in a row. Can he get the all clear, which is so necessary for him to do so against Benzer Riddell. But Benzer Riddell has been very impressive for the entire season, living up to the hype, living up to the expectation, and we will see if Chaos Theory can depend on him once again, as we're gonna get once again another slow start.
Last time was the Golem, but you can wait for that time and pretend that you have something really heavy as a beatdown. Let's bring out a Battle Ram or something like this to break the truth. There's that Barbarian.
Oh, he's gonna get 1 hit. His minions will be taken care of by the baby dragon, and we're gonna get the Lava Hound to start up playing. Look at this very early graveyard for Benzer Riddell, and the guards are gonna be here. So this is bad news for Benzer Riddell. The fact that 9 elixir is not gonna get charged.
But he knows that the guard is available now, and had to use that poison. That's a lot of elixirs. Of course, that's why Donnie wants to get that revenge with the balloon now.
Heavy investment last time around, so we're going to see this balloon that he played very aggressively. The tombstone is taken down, and the balloon, oh, this is actually going to work.
Yeah.
Very nicely done.
He had to do that with the tombstone. He had that all-in plan, because he had that tornado in his hand, but still takes too much damage. Even the pup actually did some hundreds of damage there, down to 872.
Very important push on that one to make sure that the lava, now a lava loon in that deck, that either one of those does a lot of damage, and you are mission successful on that one. So Benzer Riddell, I'm sure he's feeling the pressure now with Donnie having already destroyed 2 of their opponents so far. We're going to see if this last game for him can do him a lot of justice.
Cannon card, of course, being locked with those skeletons after the tombstone. Will not be in range of the tower, but the real story is that lava. Donnie, this time, after knowing all the cards that Danny actually has, Benzer having somewhat of a better defense. The real problem will be that balloon.
Without that tornado now, we're going to be going
trying to sneak in a cannon card at the same time.
Ooh, he actually gets it down. Almost did then.
Doesn't, and the balloon is stopped as well. So great defense by both players right there.
Yeah, I didn't even see that cannon card rushing in. That could have been very lethal if it had connected, but they get 1 spit from the baby dragon, but more so it's got Donnie. Can he connect that 1 more balloon through to that other side of that tower? But going for a poison cycle, and see once again another cannon card will be able to connect.
No, too many skeletons, but now it does after the poison takes out everything. Now it's in range, doing so much damage, and look at the time. We're in overtime, 600 more. That's all you need to actually win the game. Lava Hound going straight. Again, Benzer, I think he wants to have some defense and then just sneak in another cannon card. That will just be game. Donnie has to be careful now. There's that graveyard.
470, you're going to see Donnie what he can do about this one, because he really needs a lot of damage.
Even the poison on top, not even hitting the tombstone. He wants to go all in with this push and win the game right now.
Okay, we're going to look at this 247. It's going to require a little bit more than just 1 more poison. Cannon card! Oh, it's going to connect again!
And sneakily, that's going to be it. Lava's way too slow. Chaos Theory, they don't go down. It's going to go to that final game of game number 5, a rematch between Rad and Benzer Riddell.
You were talking about this being a possibility, and oh man, Rad coming into the last one and did it very nicely, but can he do it the second time around? Because Benzer Riddell, he's definitely warmed up, and he does seemingly better on King of the Hills every time compared to his 1v1 set. So we will see how the second rendition of this matchup will last, and this time, Rad is a little more composed than his 1v1 appearance, so hopefully he gets a very solid performance in line to help his team get another chance.
I think he's got all the salt out from his body, so he should be all good to go. But 1 single game. Even more pressure for Rad right now compared to that 1v1. Because it's not even best of 5. One single game, what kind of deck do you bring? I don't even know what I will bring personally if I'm put into that situation, but it comes down to the single last one for both teams, both players.
If Rad loses this one, it's basically games out for 5 Gaming to even have a chance to get into the next round. It will be impossible. And that means Rad somehow or some way has to get a win against Benzeriddle, and it seems that Benzeriddle is going to go with a very, very meta control deck with the Bandit Royal Ghost, and the P.E.K.K.A. I'm sure will be available for him very, very soon here.
It just seems like the one we see all the time with the Battle Ram.
It's very easy. It just makes a lot of sense. The P.E.K.K.A. will be here. The EWIS makes a lot of sense as well. The Battle Ram is going to be efforted.
The Furnace will be a big problem to actually get those Barbarians, the Battle Ram, through all the way in. And that's why he actually spent that poison to do some extra damage. Electro Wizard just dropped on top.
We're going to get this Bandit to charge in, and will do so. And you can see from this one, because we're charging in. That one.
I thought it was going to connect with the Fire Spirit, which usually it does, but that was just fast enough that it actually connected to the Furnace.
It's going to get one hit to charge onto the Furnace as the Fire Spirit was just about to come out, but we're going to see what happens here, because Rad is a little bit of in trouble in terms of that right tower, having already done so much damage to that one, and the second swipe does not come through for that Mega Minion. And this Battle Ram, of course, going to be taken down very nicely. An offensive poison for Benzeriddle.
That's exactly what he wants to have, as Rad is only defending, and in the meantime, he's actually landing on those poison damage. That's all he needs. And as long as that cannon is out of range, he's not going to get that full value. It doesn't matter where it is.
Yeah, we're going to look at towards Rad, and of course, maybe this Furnace tells us that it might be a Royal Giant deck, but it's really tough to tell from here. Furnace is now still under play, and the Royal Ghost take care of the
could
Fire
just be his own graveyard. Could totally be possible. Cannon card, Barbarian Barrel.
Could be a graveyard deck. As you were talking about, G-Cliff, you were exactly right, and we're going to see this poison come on the other side of the bridge, but not really anything else needed, because and it will do a good job against all the frontal units, and you're going to see the minions do a very good job as well.
Good poison value coming out from Rad. Actually, a lot of damage. Multiple units that were coming across the bridge. So that's some value there.
Look at this EWIS. Going to be slowing down this Mega Minion. Into the EWIS from the back from Rad. And what we're going to get for this, the minions being split onto 2 sides.
And it's a King of the Hill. When it goes to, there's no draw and regame here. It comes down to the HP of the, if you don't have any crown, it comes down to the HP of the Princess Tower. So every single hit you take will be painful at the end.
It really does affect a lot of things in play, and we will get to a situation where this Royal Ghost is going to be trying to chop things down, but
Princess Tower locked on, but poison is canceling out all those skeletons.
we're going to get the poison on the other end, and look at this. It's doing a very good job defensively, and to make sure that 4 for 5 elixir trade is always a good one for you. This charge now not coming in, and we're going to be looking towards the fire strike that will go down to the end. The Furnace is staying alive for a very long time here.
Just enough time to get the P.E.K.K.A. all the way dragged into the center.
Yeah, we're going to go with this now, and Rad now coming gets something going for him right now, because it seems like all the way through, Benzeriddle is going to be the one to charge in.
Yeah, that was not the best place to put the P.E.K.K.A., but he hit a lot of elixirs. There's that poison already.
Double poison means that defensively has been used, and Rad is seriously just trying to go for desperation efforts to make sure this last 2 minutes is going to be somehow in the lead. He's a little bit at the moment, but he's going to be a little bit down in elixir.
Gets a really nice defense with that P.E.K.K.A. Of course, does go down. P.E.K.K.A. mostly being used in defense. It's really rare to actually have the connecting into the tower.
Get the Royal Ghost to take care of all the different factors here, and Minions does a good job.
Just out of range, but still Barbarian and the Rascal Boy actually getting hits onto the tower. And several hundred damage.
Maybe another poison for that graveyard to take care of it in time, and we're going to be looking towards Rad. Going to be just trying to stop the P.E.K.K.A. from coming in every time. The Battle Ram trying to be stopping that as well. So, okay, this Battle Ram will connect.
And the Barbarian.
Decent amount of damage.
Both of them will connect a lot of damage into it.
Uh-oh. I think he has just done enough damage for this last minute. Might be able to finish the game or either go for a tie that will result in a Benzerito victory.
Okay, that certainly was a lot of damage, but he does have to hold that poison against the graveyard oftentimes, so he can't really do poison damage to finish off the game. So that's the main problem for Benzerito right now, as he's holding that for sure.
Benzerito, what we're going to see from him, because he needs to win this game, and that will bring his team a lot of goodness in terms of his opportunities. But Rad, they're one game away from going out of this tournament to be sure. And we're going to get the offensive graveyard. We're going to see defensive poison. We are starting to get a little bit late, but this is still going to be just as effective. Going to be down to 999. You can see 720 on the left side. So if it does turn out to be a draw, it will be a win towards Benzerito.
So let's see if our sphere is actually connecting into the tower. So that's going to help Rad a little bit.
It's on the wrong tower, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's on the wrong tower, but still adding up the tower damage. I think it's going to be very close. There's an extra poison in the graveyard from Rad.
This could
chipping
change.
up a few hundred more damage.
Oh.
Let's see, it's actually doing a lot right now.
That was very close, and good call by Benzerito to go for that extra 100 damage. That was
I think that was
it.
just enough
Yeah, that was very
to
close.
take the win with the HP onto the tower.
Benzerito, very decisiveness to go for the offensive poison in the end to make sure he has that advantage to win this out, and he does. And Benzerito wins, and Chaos Theory wins in the King of the Hill. Oh man, you know, when you talk about Benzerito, usually not feeling the pressure. This time you can see that he's really relieved that he was able to get the victory right there. And oh man, I mean, the pressure is on both sides, and Bob Gaming knows this. They're putting their heads down, and they know what this means. They will be officially out of this tournament in their best efforts to game with become the second place team in Japan. But their run ends here as we're going to look at the final match.
Yes.
That will decide it all. It's going to be Sandbox versus Chaos Theory, and the winner of that one advances to the
Basically the winner will advance.
Yeah.
We'll not have any tiebreaker situation. So it comes down to the final match. But I think we're going to head into the interview very soon.
Well, let's get into the interview, and we'll see what happens
Chaos Theory
from that interview. Let's hear from what they have to say from Chaos Theory.
First of all, congratulations, Chaos Theory, for a victory over Bob Gaming.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
对，那我这边想要问的第一个问题呢，就是想要请教一下 Chaos Theory 他们在前面的常规赛的季末是面临的一些乱流，不管是有败给了可能是 Brainspool 以及 AHQ， 但是后面他们是取得了外卡赛资格，而且在今天终于在最后面的第3个 set KOH 战是击败了对手，拿下了胜利。对于这一连串的情况有没有一些感想呢？
So first question is that during the tournament, you got some turbulence after losing HQ Esports Club and Brain Esports. And for this match, you finally managed to get the chance and win over at the set 3. So what's your opinions and comments on that?
Sebelum match ini, berapa match sebelum regular season selesai, kita banyak trouble, kalah terus, tapi di wildcard match ini kita bisa menang. Rasanya kayak apa?
Perasaan kita sangat bahagia dan sangat senang bagaimana perjuangan kita akhirnya membuahkan hasil. Dari yang tadinya kita beberapa kali kalah di last match di regular season, akhirnya kita bisa merubah strategi dan dengan hal-hal yang baru, dengan deck yang baru, dan akhirnya kita mendapatkan sebuah kemenangan, dan itu rasanya luar biasa. Ini adalah sebuah hal yang mungkin kita harapkan, terlebih karena datangnya Mr. Drew dan Mr. Hai. Ini adalah salah satu penyemangat bagi kami juga, dan ini luar biasa pertandingan kali ini.
So first of all, we're glad that we're still in the race. And despite losing the last couple of games during the regular season, we worked hard, changed our strategies a little bit, and set out new goals. And I think our bosses, I and Drew, came to support us, and turns out we got the win, and we're really appreciative.
那首先就是非常开心，尽管在正规的赛季里面是有点小点乱流，但是我们还是很幸运能够继续在比赛当中。那我们也因此调整了一些战略，然后重新调整一下自己的步调之后，当然同时也感谢我们自己的老板跟今天经理也来到这边给我们支持。
好，那这边想问一下第二个问题哦，是想要请教一下，就是 Benzer Riddle， 就是在他们的1v1的对决的时候，他们的对手 Riddle 一开始的时候是流下了男儿泪，然后状况是没有到很好，但他们后续他是赢了那个1v1的对决，而来到 KOH 战的时候 ，Benzer Riddle 是成功的复仇成功，击败了 Riddle。那对于这一连串有没有自己的一个感想呢？
The second question goes to Benzo Riddle because you got defeated sadly in the first in 1v1 game, and then you got your revenge at the KOH. So any comments on that?
Jadinya 1v1 tadi Ben kalah, tapi di waktu masuk KOH ternyata bisa revenge, bisa menangin buat tim kita. Ada komen?
Waktu 1v1 saya kurang yakin untuk memakai deck yang saya pilih, dan selanjutnya di KOTH saya yakin bisa memakai itu dan saya sudah mempersiapkan dengan baik dan akhirnya saya bisa
So in the 1v1 maybe the deck that he was using didn't turn out too well, but he changed it up a little bit in King of the Hill and he managed to get us the win.
那在1v1的时候，其实那时候并不是状态不是很好，但是他之后在调整之后，很幸运在 KOH 这边就顺利拿下胜利。
好的，那一样是感谢 KRC 接受我们赛后采访，恭喜他们。
We know that deck selection does a very, very big
Yes.
part in terms of deciding a matchup, but you saw Benzer Riddle's expression. He is very, very under pressure in terms of, because he knows it's always about him picking up the wins that got him the victory for his team or not. And it seems like it's that same situation.
And he's
again.
actually the reason why Chaos Theory is here today.
Exactly.
Playing it right now, and he brings it back for his team, and they survive. And the third match
Wow.
comes down to this entire 10 weeks of play.
Benzer Riddle, he has to do it again, but this time against Sandbox. But one more short break, guys, and we will be back for the final match of the wildcards. And the winner of this, Sandbox or Chaos Theory, they will be going up to the semifinal as the 4th best team. So you do not want to miss it because everything is on the line. It's for all the marbles. And that will be all for us. And we're going to be able to a short break, guys, and we'll be right back for the last match of the night. Welcome back everyone to Royale Asia Season 2. We're here for the very last match of our wildcards, and it is going to decide who exactly the winner is going to be. And going up to the semifinals is going to be a very important match for us all. Sandbox, one more effort needed to go up against Chaos Theory to win again, and maybe Korea will be that region to advance through.
Well, Korea, if they move up, the winner of this match basically move up and versus Kings on Dragon X.
Yeah.
If it's a Korean team,
Wow.
they will at least have a final. They will at least have a Korean team in the finals. That's pretty exciting news as a region. But I do think the favor is Chaos Theory going into this matchup, though.
Chaos Theory has been fantastic all season long, but Sandbox kind of made the resurgence more the late part of the season, where the early parts didn't look so spectacular for them. But as the season went on, especially in the last 2 weeks when they were going up against Korea versus Korea, they looked a lot better as a team. That's when they collected most of the wins, and here they are, just one match away from winning.
Yeah, no Shinchu this time. It's actually Connie and Thunder as the fourth player, and seems like it's the same, of course, for Chaos Theory. You can't really change it when you just have 4 players in the team, but they make it work, and that's why they're here. They made the last one work going to the final King of the Hill game. Just one single match away from going into that playoff.
We thought that the 1v1 would be confidence for Beaver to go on through, but it is going to be Sato.
Whoa, look at those pans.
Banning out
I'm
the
excited,
Prince.
Joe.
Banning out the Prince for Sato, and Infernal Dragon ban for Benzo Riddell. It's going to be a heavy deck, if you ask me. And Beaver and Connie for that 2v2 is going to be banning out the Golem. JT and Carol is banning out the Lava Hounds, so the 2 main archetypes that we have in this entire 2v2 meta is just gone.
And Tornado's available.
Oh, Tornado's
Poison's
here.
available. Rocket, Snowball,
Yikes.
everything that's spelled. Heal Potion, Freeze. What am I missing?
I mean, you can't. Well, you
Zap.
didn't miss heal. You didn't miss heal. Thank you very much on that one. And we are going with a Tornado full 2v2, because something we didn't see for a long time now. Because either one of the 2 teams, sometimes 2 teams all together, ban out that card every single time here.
Too many times. And this could be some fiery action of 2v2 and 1v1. No spell card banned. So a lot of those throwing ones like the Miner, Hog Riders, even the Royal Hogs, or the Goblin Barrels, anything like that could be activating the King Tower. So you do have to think about your placement going into the match at all times.
Are we going to see a lot of Miners? Are we going to see a lot of Royal Hogs? Because they become way less effective with the Tornado in play.
Yeah, with the patch next week, we're going to see a little less of that because it's getting a significant nerf onto it. But still today, it's one of the most strongest one right now in that 2v2. But sometimes Bomb Tower is just enough to take care of everything.
Yeah, so we will see what kind of offensive win conditions that these 2 teams decide to bring. Well, let's get into game number 1 to see what happens in the 2v2.
Korea versus Southeast Asia. We have Sandbox at the bottom blue. And Chaos Theory in red up on top. Let's see how this 2v2 goes.
Yeah, we're going to get this Miner into play, of course, not within Tornado range. And just going to put some safe damage up to there. And the Royal Hogs, we were talking about, are we going to see both of these cards? And yes, we're going to see both of these cards.
Yes. And Tombstone, with the help of an Ice Spirit, just enough.
Oh, that one's going to swipe with there from the Mega Minion, but the Flying Machine gets just 1 bullet off, and oh, this is a heavy push. Fireball, do they have it? I don't think they do it. This Flying Machine is doing wonders. Oh, and that's a great Ice Spirit onto the guard.
Okay, just in time.
Yeah, but the talk about the retargeting being so important for that Flying Machine, because it almost did 1,000 damage all by itself.
Yes, even though it activated the King Tower, which they took a lot of damage for. I do not know if it's going to be worth it. We'll have to see a little bit more.
Ooh. That Miner placement? Hello?
That log!
Hello?
Those logs are actually...
Come on.
What a crazy play.
Beaver and Connie literally allowed that Magic Archer to do the penetration damage with that defensive Miner.
That was a big mistake. Of course, Hog's doing a little bit more damage. It's down to 728. Not even double elixir time yet.
Yikes. This is bad scenario.
Bad news, but they got the King Tower activated, so their defense can be a little bit stronger. There's that rocket.
Yeah, 6 elixirs for 3, doing a little bit damage now. They're going to be a little bit behind in elixir, so you have to be careful for Beaver and Connie. What do they have to defend against this? They have the fireball, which will get everything.
Nice. Yeah, nicely done, but they have JTB Perilous, they have the poison. So the King Tower doesn't really even matter too much.
Nice log, just to make sure everything is in play in terms of damage. The mini pick out, looking at one swipe, that is going to change the game wholly here. And
yes.
5-11 to 5-12, all of it's suddenly it's going to be all even across both sides.
Just even. It seems like that may actually be about a tower down for both sides with just a hit from the mini P.E.K.K.A. Nicely done for both.
Good defense, and you talk about that one. 372 going down slowly with that poison value, and 167 down to 237. That's going to be the difference here, because it seems like one more poison all to get the job done, but really not even needed when you get the miner to get the job done. And we're going to probably just trade towers on the both sides. Just going to worry about who can get that second crown.
And the magic archer placement will be crucial. Of course, you can't really have that miner doing that again, doing that penetration damage. Miner connecting few shots, so it's about even, I would say.
Yeah, we're going to get the log kind of abruptly played. Could have waited one more second, but the P.E.K.K.A. will be here, and we're going to see this very effectiveness of this 7 elixir card. And, oh my god, that is
lovely.
Hoggers!
Fireball.
Oh my goodness, that rocket is actually really good. And so Beaver and Connie getting all these values from spells alone.
They were a little bit concerned about the pocket placement of anything.
Yeah.
That's why the bomb tower was right there, but which means the rocket will get a lot more value.
Definitely does, and we're going to see another fireball just at the ready here. We're going to see what Beaver and Connie can do, and the Ice Spirit along with 6 guards is going to be enough to make sure the limiting of damage is done.
Just a few scratches, that's about it. Second set of hogs are coming, but the minor poison doing about as much. Good fireball, log dealing with all of them.
Very nice log as well. The guards will be here to take care of the second magic archer in play. We're going to look at another one here. The Lumberjack coming through, the Royal Hogs coming through, and we're going to see something from here. Tornado, very nicely done. But is that enough? Because it seems like the damage is being done. The range is up. And it's going to be still moving on to a lot of damage from that flying machine as well. We're going to go with the rocket cycle, hoping to finish this game off. Oh, but the miner, they didn't see it. They hit the miner through that rocket. Oh my god, they hit it through the particle of the rocket.
Oh my goodness. And they had all the spells available. Even without that miner, I think just one hit from the miner plus that fireball was going to be game.
Do you know that play when you send in the rocket with the, what do you call that, with the goblin barrel? You know that play where you send it at the same time, that goblin barrel literally becomes invisible. That same theory went in with the miner. I did not even see that miner go through.
That's why you need sound. That's why you need to hear the game and play.
Oh my word.
You can't just turn that SFX off and play the game. That was kind of crucial, and also made the wrong prediction where the miner was going to come. They had the right response.
Didn't have that SFX and got that GG. Oh man. The miner coming in through once again. The bats, this has become a nuisance. The bat's getting a lot of value now.
Some scratches along with the poison.
Second series of bats. We'll do most of the job here. And the fly machine's
Bats
back
are
here.
just...
They're getting incredible value. That's what they're doing.
It kills a lot of things. It brings down a lot of things.
The Royal Hogs are coming in, distracting the skeletons.
They have the bomb tower. That's lovely for Beaver and Connie.
Yeah. And now we're looking at this.
Look how frustrated Carolus is at the moment. Look at that camera on the left top.
Yeah, I mean, he's just shaking his head left and right. He knows that this is looking like...
This is the game. Of course, it's not going to finish the entire match, but this is the game for you to move on or not.
And these Royal Hogs are coming in once again. Do they have another bomb tower? It seems like they don't, but they don't really need it with the Valkyrie on the right side. The mini P.E.K.K.A. on the left side will limit the damage quite a bit here.
Yes, that's actually a quite nice defense. Without that bomb tower, they can have that cycle going on. I think they will take few scratches, but that's just good enough when they can do more with their own push.
We'll see what happens from all this. Really being aggressive is going to be Chaos Theory, but nothing else coming from it now because Zap will just not allow it to get the damage on. You're going to see the Skelly Barrel from Beaver and Connie again. The bomb tower is here. Really, you're really worried about that miner, and you're still worried about doing a lot of damage through it. Let's see the Royal Hogs again. See what happens from this one. Right in front. And that's going to be the penetration damage all day long for that Magic Archer. And I think it's down to 2-2-2-4.
Few penetration damage from that guard, so Magic Archer getting some value. Not quite as much as the miner is actually doing for Beaver and Connie, so they try to pocket one more. And I'm sure the Valkyrie will come.
Oh, the Valkyrie, that is a pain.
Not actually towards the center, so it's not getting... Hog's actually doing a lot of damage.
It wasn't actually the best value in terms of that one.
But this
penetration with the Magic Archer does a fantastic job. And you can see all these units come forward, and basically with the anything that you can really relate to, the Tornado doing a very good job of pulling things back. And this is good work. And now the Royal Hogs going in. The Rocket's trying to be cycled again, and it's going to be down to 240. That's going to be requiring a log and a poison to help out, but...
Another set of Hogs onto the left. They're already starting another one with they have 14 seconds. Let's see.
What? Oh,
Let's
this might be a bad play.
Let's see what they have in their hands.
No, this might be a bad play. They need something. I don't think they have enough to get 596 down, and it just might be a case where Beaver and Connie might just win this game here.
The
1 second away. Oh.
They bring it down and goes to the second crown now.
That was very close.
That
turned out to be a good play.
Okay, turned out to be a very good play. Setting up for this one, but that was very risky. They took the risk, got a lot more out of it. What a great play.
You know, in games where you need big time situations, you need to make risky plays, and you saw that coming in from Chaos Theory and really paid off there. And as you saw the Rocket, you can just leave that bomb tower astray, and we're going to see what happens from here.
Bomb tower. Of course, spells doing directly into the tower as well, but still draws out a lot of the spell. I think that's exactly what they need. Poison hitting every single time with that bottom tower now.
We're going to see the Mini P.E.K.K.A do a very good job. Lumberjack's still alive. This is going to be a big push as the Royal Hawk's going to be just running in. But good Valkyrie along with the Log's going to limit the damage. But still, it seems like that 350 is not going to be long for this Royal Jake.
Poison is going to finish it up, so Beaver and Connie needs something right now. A lot of rockets, pocket ones. Miner not even connecting from the guards. There's that fireball now.
Ah, that's it. And the second miner did not connect, and that's going to be Beaver and Connie kind of whisking their heads, thinking that they basically had the game in the bag, but it was going to be Chaos Theory putting that extreme amount of risk in that late seconds, but it did pay off for them.
Well, they had that much amount of lead with some great defense, getting a lot of value with their spells, but it was still very risky just to send that much troop onto the other side when you still need 500 plus to be down onto the right side.
It wasn't a guarantee. That's the biggest problem because we thought that if that Lumberjack hasn't connected, that would not have finished off that tower in time.
Yeah, maybe with just one more guards.
Exactly.
That was not being perfect, and it just came down to the last 0.4 seconds. Got that exact damage down. That was an incredible game, but it comes down to the final one. Game number 3.
Big pressure situation calls out for big pressure plays, and we're gonna see this now. Yikes. Why? There's so many better cards out there in the game today.
Because they have Royal Giant. They want to push out a little bit more.
Okay, they want to save at least one elixir if they can, instead of going for that bomb tower.
It is a raged one, so, okay, it was about to maybe get one more hit onto the tower.
JT and Careless, I don't like this deck. This is so risky. They were talking about playing risky all day long, but going with the rage, from the Lumberjack, you talk about what that means going forward with the cannon, just trying to get any elixir advantage that you can.
Nothing really lost too much, I would say, from either side. They got to check out what the other opponent is going to have as their main key play. The setup.
See the Baby Dragon coming from the top side. JTV and Careless might be just looking for that graveyard play, but we already saw the Royal Giant kind of telling us that's not going to be the case. Let's see something else here. The Tornado will be great here, but it doesn't turn out to be the case.
Still have a Tornado for the you want to wait for that Skeletons. You don't want to throw anything too early, okay? Going to get some penetration shots into the tower.
Very nice.
3 already, 4.
About 4 damage through, and we're going to go to this Valkyrie. How long can it go? And we're going to look towards the P.E.K.K.A. That will do a very good job against the miner. Then was that a double miner? I think there was just one miner, right?
I don't think so. There was just the one on the left side. P.E.K.K.A took out.
Okay.
And this is a big push.
We're looking at this Royal Giant. Can it destroy the bomb tower in time? The P.E.K.K.A. is also having a hard time traveling through it. This mini P.E.K.K.A. is going to be the hero of the day for Beaver and Connie. Still surviving to put that counter push on today.
P.E.K.K.A. locked onto Lumberjack once again. And even Lock clearing out a lot of the ground units, so that's good. Poison getting the tower. A few extra damage chipped in. Now 35 seconds left, but seems like we might just go to overtime.
And we're going to get this fireball very nicely done against this Magic Archer, just to make sure the penetration damage does not come through. Valkyrie here, what can it get done? Can it get close to the tower in time? It doesn't seem like it here, Jiggler.
Extra set of miners. Good fireball this time. I think Royal Giant will connect.
One shot.
Just one. That might just be enough with extra set of poisons. If they have anything big like the rocket. Okay, rocket comes out from Beaver and Gani.
It's going to destroy the Lumberjack, and that the Lumberjack is going to be keep going. And look at the miners,
70.
still it is. That's going to be a game, and 47, that's all you need. Oh, man.
Are they going to do it? They were the weakest on the 2v2. They win 2 straight tonight.
Wow.
Sandbox, what's happening? What did they eat before coming up on the stage?
They bought the Rage Potion, that's what they did, because 2 elixirs is all they needed, and oh my goodness, they're on a roll, and Sandbox, you're literally just one set away from being the best team out of the 3 that was listed today. I did not think that was going to happen.
Just reminding you guys, Sandbox has had 5 and 9, and the other 2 teams, 5 Gaming, Chaos Theory, they had 9 and 5 in terms of 10 weeks of standing.
What?
It does not matter today, but you can tell how weak this team was compared to the other 2 teams. Now they're looking like it doesn't really matter anytime soon.
Simon, if you're watching the stream, I would like to tell you that you were right. It didn't matter how bad they were playing throughout the regular season. As long as you just do good today, you get in. Oh wow, I never really thought that Simon was wrong. I'm right about that one.
But Sandbox, they will have to go through the toughest opponent. It is this player on the screen. Benzer Riddell. Look at that. Now he has 13 and 4.
Well, I mean, that 13 and 4 can come to a conclusion if
Yes,
this team
he needs a
loses
perfect
here.
angle. 2 more degrees up.
But sometimes, you know, he's very, very precise with getting the positions of that stand right. But wow, I mean, we are going towards this 1v1. Kind of the least expected player to make the appearance for Sandbox. Sato is going to be the player to either decide whether they're going to go to the King of Deals by losing or just go up to the next round.
It's up to him, and of course, both Ben and result too. But he has been doing not too bad in the 1v1s. King of the Hill, not as well, because he did come up, just recorded a lot of losses. He only won against Chaos Theory 2 times, but he did have a record of beating Benzer Riddell on that King of the Hill a long time ago.
When you saw that, Benzer Riddell kind of looked to the side, was just trying to look at to read the face of Sato and trying to see what information you can get out of him.
And Sato actually likes to use the Hog Rider.
Well, Hog Rider, I would guarantee it's not going to bring you good results.
Just
here.
a regular one, not with the cannon, but a different one with the Valkyrie and the Go Gangs.
Yeah. Well, the Royal Hogs, as we were talking about, does come through for Benzer Riddell. See the tornado. Reel it in, reel it in! That was actually very close of not getting reeled in. So,
but still takes about 600 damage. And it's not 2v2 where King Tower has two cannons.
True, and we're going to see this Baby Dragon now make its way forward. And this looks like the graveyard deck from Sato. The control deck with the Baby Dragon with Lightning. Okay, that's not the graveyard deck. Sorry about that one. False call on Art.
A lot of Baby Dragons in a lot of decks these days, of course. Cannon card. We're just locking onto a lot of the skeletons. If they're taken out, okay, it's already structure mode, never mind.
Making a lot of false calls today, we are. It's alright.
Taking the penetration damage, though.
Yeah, that's not a false call. That's actually a real one. Getting it down to 1693.
Every single one of those matter, of course.
Yes, it does. And we're going to see the ice trigger get about 2 ice particles down to that left tower. 1930 down to 1693. And we're going to get the Barbarian punt. Getting getting started for Benzerito. So this is the
We had a lot of this deck tonight. Guys,
Royal Hog
I think this is the third one tonight.
Okay, the Flying Machine is still alive.
It will still, okay, just goes in range. The Princess Tower and gets taken out.
And Barrow is trying to find him out, and look at this cannon card.
We've seen what Benzer was able to do with that cannon card. Lightning spent already because Sato does not really want to deal with it.
What happens here? And Dorito doing well defensively, but he doesn't get an offensive going on the other end. And does he have the long footing? He doesn't, so it's going to be a scenario situation where you have to worry about all these things coming into play. But the good tornado is telling us that defense is going to be very, very good for Sato.
Perfect defense against a lot of troops. And even the Magic Archer, of course, not getting a perfect angle was close. Sato just not letting it happen.
Oh, and the Mega Man is just out of range of that tower. Now gets hit, so it means that the two Barbarians would have been taken here very, very easily. Second Ice Wiz down on that field for Sato, and you can see the Mega Man once again there for defense preemptively, and the Lightning is there every time for that cannon card.
And it's actually connecting to the tower as well, doing about 300 damage every single time. That's chipping up to bring it down to 13-16, about the same. Benzer, he wants to sneak that cannon card in, but it's not happening at all with that lightning every single time.
Now the Royal Giant is actually going to be played by Sato. This is a big, big news, and we're going to see this go chomp down very, very quickly here. And you know when you're playing the Royal Giant against the Barb Hut deck, we know which one gets the win.
It was about to get hit onto the tower. It actually locked down because it was pushed to the left side from all those units. But no real damage.
Oh my god, that's a big, big push, but a good tornado should get most of these units down.
Doesn't even need it. He takes some damage though, even with that King Tower activated.
He's able to save some elixirs along with it. Second Barbarian Hut. Bad news if you're Sato. What are you going to do about this? You're not going to use Lightning for it, obviously. You're going to have to wait for the cannon card to come through. What are we going to see from Sato?
Love the wait, as he did take some elixirs just now. He was waiting for that moment. Early barrel because he actually has nothing else to lose.
Okay, look at this now. Oh no, that's not a great value. Lightning, and Sato is going to take some damage from this. And now we're going to see this cannon card be free to move around. Can he get to the tower? It seems like it because this Tombstone is going down so quickly here. Oh, and the Fireball, beautiful there. But the Barbarian Barrel just in time, just limited to getting to the tower in time. So this is all quick reaction plays from both players right now.
Yeah, but Sato actually spammed a lot in that defense, so the Flying Machine got a lot of value.
Oh, that's not a good tornado. This is a bad one, and the Royal Hog's going to get some damage through, and you're losing so much elixirs right now, Sato. You can't get rid of that Barb Hut, and this is really causing a lot of trouble for Sato.
Not the worst one because the last hut just went down. He had to just defend it. Now the new one pops out, so he does have some time to defend. 800 left and only 35 seconds to go. If he gets some penetration damage,
this will be a minor win for Sato if he can get the draw here, but it seems like he just might be able to. 25 seconds. The Barb Hut takes a little bit of time to get evolved into a lot of damage, so Royal Hogs, they want to finish this off now, because if they don't, it seems like the scenario would be, yeah, Sato is going to be just tying this up, and it seems like 10 more seconds, that's not going to be enough time here.
He wants to shoot through. That's not going to come down as the Royal Giant will just tank all the shots.
Yeah, that's
it. Seems like we're going to a rematch of the first game.
Wow, I mean, Sato, you're going to be feeling very thankful about that matchup, because against the Royal Giant deck, which you're trying to use, but against the Barb Hut deck, it's a very tough one for you to win.
I think he made the right move to actually just use, basically not use it in the game. I think he used it just twice, or maybe 3 times.
In the late game, too.
Yeah, if you end up using it more and more, you end up losing more at the end. So you fall behind. Sato made the right call just to test out a few times. And if he doesn't really have the right setup, just not use it and then go to that overtime. And you do have a rematch without losing at least.
Sure, just testing the waters, knowing that you're going to be outmatched in terms of the deck composition, and not going to use that Royal Giant that many times. And only when he had a lot of elixirs to use, that's when he did it. Just as a pressuring tool, but knew realistically he wasn't going to get that much damage onto the opponent tower.
It just means these players are just on that level.
We saw those quick reactions in that late game.
Getting a lot of synergy with that tornado and a lot of the spells.
It's incredible stuff from both players right now, because the amount of reaction speed that's coming from Sato and Benzerito, it's just it's a different level when it is exactly the playoffs that we're finally in, and this is very important to know that this is the scenario we're looking at.
Not even a single scratch, but Benzer Riddle actually brought the exact same deck. Maybe not with the Royal Ghost this time, but a very similar one for sure.
Could be still another Royal Hawks deck, very much a possibility. Look at this Bar Putt. Do a very good job on consistently providing the pressure, and this Royal Giant is standing right there, and it's going to be putting the damage onto this Ice Wizard. Now kill it, and maybe we'll get some swipes on the tower. One. Almost two, and now this cannon card coming in. Has some time to finish things off, and
okay, actually pushes it out of the range. That was well done by Sato.
Yeah, only structures will be able to get that done, because otherwise the cannon card is going to be pretty immovable. Now we're looking towards this Baby Dragon, trying to do some damage. It's going to get pretty even. Not much to really differentiate the two sides, and it's going to be the Royal Hawks deck once again, and we'll see how this forms into play here.
Tornado used again to activate the King Tower, but he takes somewhat significant damage. And
finally, we might get a Graveyard deck for Sato.
Seems like we're going to a similar situation compared to the game number 1.
Sure, but the Graveyard deck works a little bit better on the Bar Putt deck rather than what we saw from the last time around with the Royal Giant. So it's here, Sato, what have you got in the last 2 cards that are unveiled so far? To know.
He can actually have his own cannon card right in there, but a lot of push coming. Slows down. Good fireball. Down for Frenzo. Those hogs are actually landing a lot of damage.
The Magic Archer did a lot of damage already to that tower, and look at that. The Royal Hogs adding on with, and it's gonna be another Royal Giant deck. Doomsday for Sato. Either he has to go for a tie, but I just don't see it coming this time around. He's already taking too much damage here, G-Cliff.
The Barbarian will actually, just in time, Ice Wizard will block it. 527. Those hogs has to be defended perfectly for the next 3 minutes, basically.
It doesn't seem like it's gonna happen.
Okay, he does have a tombstone. For let's focus on one at a time. And see, this was perfectly defended. Nicely done. That's one, and he has to stop that penetration coming out from the Magic Archer.
Yes, so we will see what the situation is for him, but...
And Cannon Card getting into range.
Fireball, I mean...
that can't be stopped.
Very good, G-Cliff. We knew Benson Riddle was gonna win. And,
but he did put down a lot of Elixir. That's why that Royal Giant is there. Taking the Barbarian Hawk down.
It's not gonna win.
He does have a lot of air units, so he's pushing out a little bit more, but let's see if he actually gets to the tower. It seems unlikely at the moment with a lot of Barbarians coming out as well.
Putting out his best ever, but we know realistic how much G-Cliff likes fantasy stories, but this one is not going to be good enough. The Royal Giant defending against the Royal Hawks is not the way to do it, and that's going to be GG in the most extent of that victory. 66 HP, and whatever you need.
Maybe just the fireball.
Yeah, just the fireball. Yeah, that's all you really need.
Have some style points. Yes, that's going to be the end.
Wow. I mean, Sato, you understand his mindset that you want to go for the reverse psychology, saying, since I played the Royal Giant, it didn't work. So my opponent may think that I'm going to try the exact same deck again. No one really thinks that, because you're going to try something else for what didn't work in game 1. But he tried it again, and Banzarilla brought out the exact same deck as last time around.
This doesn't really happen too many times.
Yeah.
Only very beginning of Season 1 where both players kept the same deck. But ever since those times, the players has been switching out every single time, regardless of a loss or a win. It's kind of a rare sight to have both players keeping the same deck, but surely at least one player will be switching out to something else after that.
It has to, right?
For Benzer, yes.
It definitely has to. Sato cannot win 2 games in a row with a Royal Giant deck. I just would not be playing it if I
let's
was
see,
in.
Joel. No one knows what's going to happen. There's that minor.
Well, it's a different one for Benz Riddle for sure. But for Sato, did he bring it out again?
It's totally possible.
It is.
2 same cards for now, 3 same cards.
What? Did he have the Tombstone last
Yes,
time
he
too?
did.
Okay. So it is very possible. Okay. Get that swipe onto the Tombstone. Yes, he did it. So.
Oh, 4.
Oh, 4 out of 4 so far.
That's number 4.
I'm getting scared because this is the Monka S moment for me right here, and this is looking like Sato.
Well, they did take set number 1 with 2v2. I think Sato has some room to actually
this is actually a good deck to play the Royal Giant against. So if Sato somehow was crazy,
Here we go.
he did it.
He did it.
3 games in a row with Royal Giant, and this
Tombstone
deck
will go
is,
down with 2 shots.
yeah, this is
Straight
looking a
to the
lot
tower
better.
now.
My. This is looking a lot better for Sato. And Benzerido, you must be thinking, this guy bringing out Royal Giants 3 games in a row. Stop it.
Well, maybe that's the only one that they practiced over the week. That's totally possible.
Hey, you know, at least you know what to expect in the game. But the cannon card. Oh, but it still might connect
Does he have
again.
anything else? Very low elixirs at the moment.
No. This is bad.
Okay, that's more than 1,000 damage from that cannon card.
Oh, even that tornado was...
That's a
Using that tornado made that situation worse.
Okay, yes, but what else could he have done?
He had
that
no
was the
cards.
card in his hand. He had that much elixirs, and everything else is heavier.
Wow.
So it comes down to 585. But
Ooh, Benzerido, in a kind of a disadvantaged deck composition, he might just win again.
well, we'll see. Because double elixir time, Royal Giant does get a lot more power than he's up against a Tombstone, a lot in the air. Okay, Lightning. Seems like Benzer is going for that poison, just chipping damage. He has about 40 seconds to finish the game.
Look at the cannon card. Targeted through.
Nothing for that miner. Seems like he's gonna just
Give it up.
not give up, but go for all in for this attack, but not doing as much for sure, Sato.
Giving up that left tower is going to be the option being selected by Sato, but that just means in 20 seconds he has to somehow get a tower down from either side. Even that left tower, which he has more damage on, 17-19, seems too far away from AG Cliff.
Needs everything right now, that 8 seconds. That's way too far away. With that tornado, Benzer will take the game number 3 after a tie. He's going to take 2-0.
After 3 straight games of playing against Royal Giant, where in normal game I would have thrown away my phone, Benzerido
On the bed, right?
Well, I mean, on the bed. That makes the phone safe. So, all in all, I mean, Benzerido once again shows why he's such a fantastic player.
Yes.
He doesn't give up to pressure, and he doesn't care whether he's outmatched or not in terms of the deck differences. Wow, I mean, game 1, game 2, I would have to say that he was on the advantage for deck selection, but game 3, he was gonna be on the losing end if he didn't play that correctly.
He knows exactly when to put down the cannon card. We saw that over and over again. Just sneaking into the tower range and getting that massive damage put out. And when he actually has the Royal Hogs, they barely do any damage. It's mostly the cannon card, which is really hard to manage.
Wow, I mean, it's incredible.
It is incredible what he can actually do on that 1v1. A scary player.
And we always talk about Clash Royale, especially in CRO Asia, that this is supposed to be a team game. But Chaos Theory, this is a team that looks least like a team. It looks like a one-man team from the first day of the season, even up to this wildcard event, which is basically 1 game away from now advancing to the semifinals.
Yes, this is what we talked about at the early one, because a lot of the players use same decks over and over. If you use the same deck over and over, your opponent basically knows the cycle that the opponent is going to have easily after seeing a few cards. Could be coming into the mind game, but it's actually easier for the opponent to lead. So I think that was a real problem for Sato. Benzerido, a great player, of course. He tried his best. I mean, Sato tried his best as well. But it comes down to the King of the Hill. Thunder coming out, as he didn't really play too many games for the team for the entire season.
And we will see how that really affects the play. This kind of seems like a deja vu for us, because we saw Careless up at first last time between them and going up against Fob Gaming, to be sure. But, you know, Careless, what have you got? Because last time you didn't get a win. Can you get a win this time around?
Remember, Thunder is the only one that had 1 win and 2 ties. And because he had 2 ties with a win, he actually won the set. That's what it came down to. He's a really good player with 1v1, but a lot paired up with Connie.
Yeah.
His main was 2v2 for the team, but it comes down to this important match. Lack of data could be a thing that you have to go against.
It's incredible to see that this very important matchup that decides who goes to the semifinals is going to be decided in the King of the Hill G-Club. And we're going to go to game 1 with emotes being thrown all up in the air. And they're ready. They're ready to decide who's going to make it up to the semifinals to go up against Kingzone.
Let's go, Joe. As this is the final set, King of the Hill.
Irritation face, and that's not an accident this time around. Careless doesn't like what he's seeing, and we're gonna see what we can get. Oh,
Skeletons eating each other.
and Royal Ghost not gonna hit each other, thankfully.
Yes, they'll just say, passing through you.
Not really though.
No, not this time with the Huntera. Okay.
Is it the same deck though? I'm kind of worried. Might get a mirror match.
Mirror match is actually what comes down to who puts, a lot of the time, who puts out the first card.
Yeah.
That actually determines a lot of the mirror match.
We used to have that in the Clan
challenge,
Wars, in the
yes.
Clan Wars too. You know, when we
Long time ago.
had it as an option, but
and I'm very
they
glad it doesn't exist
they
anymore.
quickly got rid of it. I guess that got the good feedback from our users in our community.
Well,
And,
they change it up every single time.
I hope they don't bring it back though. I don't like the mirror mode, to be honest. It's
We'll see. It seems like a lot of similar cards being put out for both hunters.
well, I mean, it's very similar, but it's not exactly the
Yes,
same
I
as you
think
can see.
Yeah. We do have the spells left going on for Thunder.
The skeletons are quite confused as to where they're supposed to get out. Am I going up to the left? Am I going to the right? They have no idea. They're just switching as they get off the tombstone. Stupid skeletons. Going with them here and gonna get the Royal Ghost to wipe everything away.
Both players just hiding their key cards.
Yeah. Careless, I'm sure he has a big card. That's
Okay,
Royal
there we
Hawks.
go.
That's the Royal Hawks. Okay, gonna get the... Ooh, that's a very heavy invest. I don't know if that was gonna be worth it for Thunder on that one, because he used a lot of elixirs on that one.
Yeah,
Talk
so
about
he needs to make this push effective at least. There's Hogs again from Thunder. Very similar deck, I would say, with key winning conditions coming down to the Royal Hogs.
you can see that Thunder's so behind right now in terms of the elixir trade out. We will see how this works for him, because 8 elixirs used for those Royal Hawks last time around. We'll see if this pays off for him, because Thunder's still cycling through, but Careless, we're pretty happy with his current situation.
So with these, if it was something like Graveyard, that can actually do direct damage and like thousands of damage all of a sudden with just one attack. It can actually be game in 15 seconds, but with these spells and the tombstones right in the middle against the Hogs, seems like we can actually have a draw, but we'll look into it a little bit more.
Could be. We had a lot of draws today here, G Cliff, and we're gonna probably go to a possibility of another one, as
And
we're gonna
that's
see.
because these players are actually down to like half of elixir, really good on the reflection time, reaction speed.
The
Really
players
good.
are literally playing this as if it is the most important match in their lives, because it actually is.
They're
Because
going for the safe move here.
They're going here. And we're gonna see what happens here. The Barbarian just rushing through. You'll see the Hunter do a pretty good job. Just things away. And will just be wiped away by all of this here.
And you can't really ignore those.
Spell Cycler. And I think that might just decide the game here with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left to go. There's no way for them to really reach through it, as the defense is so solid on both sides. They just have to go for the Spell Cycle to
A lot of
hopefully-
range with the Hogs. So this one for Thunder actually doing some damage, getting the penetration onto the right side.
Yeah, we're gonna see still a lot of damage being done, and the Hunter is gonna defend down, and
Spray of
Royal Hawks are
bullets.
coming out and be distracted once again by the Tombstone, and really no damage done. So it has to be the Spell Cycle that's very dependent on for Careless and Thunder to finish off this game here, G-Club, because it seems like all the more through. We're gonna get this, and we're probably gonna get this over and over again, where the defense is very solid to both teams.
Yes, Poison could have done a lot more damage if it started actually from 3 minutes, beginning of the game. But because we're this late into the game, Thunder is not even really trying to
Spell
bring
Cycle.
that down.
Well, 19-15, 17-27, that's not going to be enough time for them in 1 minute and 30.
Oh, actually, Joe, this
Yeah?
is King of the Hill. It comes down to the HP of the tower.
Oh, it does? You're
Yes.
right.
I do have to remind everyone.
You have to remind everyone else.
Including myself.
Including ourselves,
Yes.
yes. Wow, this is important. And the
So every
spell
single
cycle.
poison, they need it. They need to have perfect defense, and these Hogs are scratching a little bit. Okay, that's an extra one.
Okay. 1668, 1699.
Okay, so Careless is winning by maybe 100 right now. But that could change anytime soon because of the poison here.
Okay.
That's doing
the Royal
way
Ghost.
too much damage.
Oh, no. This is fire. You're done.
And with the
Oh.
with the Hogs and basically a poison, that will be game for
Yeah.
Thunder. That one mistake,
Yep. That's going to do it. And
which for 5 minutes we thought it was going to be really fierce fight between the two.
Yeah, unless Thunder doesn't do anything like incredibly bad, then this is pretty much game.
Yeah, like poisoning your own tower or something.
And that won't even do anything.
I know. But you're going to waste your elixir. But 20 seconds. Careless, you can't really do too much.
Yeah, I think this is done for. I think he might just even get the tower if he's lucky after this 15 seconds.
He's just way too far in that Princess HP, even if he doesn't bring it down.
Yeah. So 10 seconds left, and that's basically it. Thunder, unless he does something incredibly wrong, this should be game enough for him. And we're going to go to a draw. Had many of those today, G-Clip, but it is still a victory towards Thunder in the end, picking up that Game 1 victory. And going into Game 2, one step closer for Korea to go up against Kingzone in the semifinals.
That's totally possible now, when he actually has one more win for themselves. Thunder, who I thought was one of the weaker links in the team, in this important stage when you can just have one win, that's all you need. And here comes JTB up on stage.
Haven't seen him in a while. Just been playing around with that 2v2 most of these games nowadays against with his side. Careless, but comes into this King of the Hill as the kind of the lifesaver. Hopefully that's what he can be, but we still have Benson Rido waiting in the mix, so it is important to notice that even with JTV probably going to be frightened by that defeat of his teammate just a while ago.
You do have to remember that JTV used to be the ace player for that 1v1 back in Season 1. He was out for that 1v1 so many times. Of course, with the new team sidekick kicking in, sidekick just became the leader of 1v1. But JTB in this King of the Hill can actually become the bridge.
And we'll see what happens here, because JTV, it's a very important match for him, because one game and one mistake that he makes, like we saw from Careless, could really decide everything in probably a very, very extended match that we're getting for all these matches today.
We'll see. The most important moment for these two teams. As Beaver just taking him, just making sure that he's in the right condition to play.
Yeah, Thunder just goes a little bit of fighting and he is ready to go. And just cheering himself up, just cooling himself down. You need to really calm yourself down in this instance. That's the most important thing. And good luck being called out by JTV. No response. Actually, he just laughs at him. Okay.
Elixir Collector and the poison. Nice start for Thunder, I would say.
Yeah. And we will see if this becomes 3 Muskies for JTV. This becomes Golem. Anything is possible with that Elixir Collector. Yeah, 3 Muskies, it seems like it.
So we'll have to wait a little bit more, as that Collector will be going down very soon. Not really getting its full value, of course, from the poison.
I have been pretty good on predictions today in terms of the deck predictions, but I think this is going to be the 3 Muskies. I'm putting my money on that one. Never mind. Yeah, so I'm really bad with predictions today, but all the way going through, we are going to go with pretty heavy bridge battle, as we see from all these players. And gonna go with the Baby Dragon and gonna go with the Ice Wizard. Perfect combination to do a lot of defensive effort. E-Wiz will go down as well.
And when they're raged up from the Lumberjack range, so good defense. Baby Dragon will actually get a few hits. Okay, 3's just enough. Couple hundreds put into that left top Princess Tower.
Okay, it's gonna be. Oh gosh, that's a one.
What BM there says thanks to that Lumberjack.
Gosh.
I was waiting for something to be put down, right?
Yikes.
And then a tornado.
Yikes. Just playing with his mentality.
And then he's got that poison, and the Princess Tower didn't even get a scratch.
I wonder if JTV muted his emotes, because I think he needed that right there.
At that moment, I think you do need to go with that mute.
Oh my word.
Elixir Collector, forcing out a poison every single time, but he's getting less value out of that. So his major push with that Giant is not as strong, certainly. And Thunder, he's got the right move with the Tombstone. He's got his own Lumberjack.
Get the Tornado up nicely here. This is pretty much the quintessential defense.
Slowing things down.
And for the Baby Dragon. And this
Lumberjack this time
Lumberjack is going to connect.
About 1,000.
If JTV says thanks right here, this will be complete. This emo battle will be complete.
Even the E-Wizard doing a lot in the rage.
That's it. Oh, 758. That's so huge.
And he's getting the value from the Collector now.
Ooh, and the Giant is going to be rushing in, and probably Thunder has very little elixir to take care of this. Only the Ice Wiz, but this tower is going to go down pretty sure here.
And Tombstone and Tornado was used to bring that Giant.
Oh, very nice.
So this Golem is not as strong. But also JTV doesn't really have anything like the Inferno Dragon for himself.
Okay.
Even though he has a bowler, that's not going to push the golem away. Okay, down to the overtime. Let's see the damage at the end. It's about 1,300 done.
Looking at a Lumberjack on both sides, just going to battle right at the bridge, and we'll go down first, but both will go down regardless, and we're going to probably just look at another defensive effort being shown by Thunder. Very nice fireball to drag that Ice Wizard closer to the bowler, and look at this, the Giant breaks out the tombstone, and you can see the bowler is not going to be able to connect that boulder onto that tower right now.
But JTV actually got almost the full value out of that collector, so he can still go on with all the things that he wants to. There's a second golem from Thunder as he wants to make his own push.
Look at this now, the Mega Minion is not going to connect onto the tower. 557 doesn't seem that far away in terms of getting the damage done. Going to get a very nice log.
But if JTV focuses
Lumberjack.
everything onto the left,
No, but
they could connect the damage and that...
Lumberjack, he got it. He got it! JTV. Oh my goodness, Thunder. Oh my goodness, he's feeling it right now because he was about 5 seconds away from Golem really connecting onto that tower, and JTV, Lumberjack, 1-2 swipe. And that was going to be it. Now they're still in this game. Very much even 1v1 in this King of the Hill, and still got 2 players left to go on both sides.
And that's exactly what you do against the Golem. On the other lane, make sure you have something that's really fast that can go straight to the tower. Lumberjack, really nice one, unless the opponent has something like a skeleton army, and that's not existing for what Thunder had at the moment. He's down. Next one to go, so we are 1-1 tied right now. Sato comes out, and he was pretty good, of course, against Benzerido. He did go down, but for his 1v1 individual skill, I think we can kind of count on him.
It was a little bit disappointing for his own efforts against Benzerido, but it is a different opponent with JTV. Can he do a little bit better? Will he bring out the Royal Giant thing again? But I just don't think that's going to be the case. The moment we start thinking that he's not going to bring it out, and we've been in for surprises before. We're going to get onto this game 3, Sato versus JTV. Chaos Theory winning just 1 game. Needs to win a lot more now. It's about just the same. Sato, can he get the job done? He's going to wait things out. Sato, what is he thinking? Banning out the Miner, banning out the Infernal Dragon. That's a great timing to play the Royal Giant, obviously, but is that enough of a tool for him to play 4 straight Royal Giant decks here?
You wait until the moment of a minute, maybe we'll have to see, because Infernal Dragon ban, which kind of leads us to have a lot more heavy beatdown decks, like the ones we've seen so far. Golems, Giants, no P.E.K.K.A.s so far, which is quite surprising.
We'll see what Sato has to have, though. You know, G-Club, I mean, you looked at this game so far. You looked at what Sato played in the entire series that he played against him and Benzerido, and comes with a new opponent. What mindset does he have?
Well, Sato
he
can always go back to his Hog Rider. That's his main. I know that he plays a lot of Hog Rider.
We haven't seen a Hog Rider in a very long time.
Not today.
Very long time. So see what we get. Sato still waiting things through. JTV being just as patient as ever. 35 seconds left to go before that double elixir time, and oh man, this is getting very, very close in JTV.
Look at the camera and the amount of concentration they have.
They're just looking at their
on
screen.
their device.
They have so many things running in their heads right now, and they're ready to just let it all out.
And also not to miss anything that's going to happen in a surprise.
Split-second reaction is what you need in this double time, and we're going to get it right now. 10 seconds away.
Yeah, we're about to see some units being deployed onto the arena. What's it going to be?
3. That's going to be the Barbarian Hunt. And the Tombstone. Sato, I think he has it again. Oh man, I think JTV got the information that he might just play another Royal Giant deck, and he just brought the deck, basically the deck that got the win every single time.
And he's up against the one
Okay.
that caused him to lose.
Unlock the King's Tower with that Royal Hog, but
Still takes significant amount of damage onto the right.
this is very, very important. The Baby Dragon will try its best in a late-ditch effort, but Oh man, I feel another Royal Giant coming, but it's gonna be a graveyard. So this is very, very important. The graveyard actually does very well against a Hut deck, and we're gonna see if this turns out to be a good one for the side of Sado as everything just turned around now. The first graveyard did not get much into play, but a lot of elixir had to be used for JTV.
Yeah, some amount of damage, about 400, but JTV's got his own push going. Second cycle of Barbarian Hunt, and he wants to focus on the right side because he's already done about 1,000 with those Royal Hogs already. And Sado, he needs to wait until the perfect time for that graveyard, which last one did actually somewhat of damage because there's more poison for JTV.
Get the poison to get the value onto the Magic Archer along with this Barbarian Hut. And now we're going to go with this Royal Hogs. We're just going to go with it here. Good Tornado to get the Barbarians and the Baby Dragon working here. And this cannon card is not going to be able to connect, but the Royal goes on the left side. It's starting to put some damage on for JTV. This is very, very important. Gets about 4 swipes through it. We're going to see how much of an effect this really makes on the rest of the game.
Yeah, a little less because of that King Tower already activated. You got to take that into mind. That's why the Ghost actually went down pretty quickly there.
Get another graveyard through. The Royal Ghost trying its best to put the efforts down, but see that it's basically still doing significant amount of damage in a +2 elixir trade. Really getting a lot of HP done. 1782 on the right side for JTV. Sado with a lot more HP that he has to worry about. The Royal Hawks coming once again.
But the Tombstone is ready. Perfect block to take care of all the skeletons. That's why the
Tornado
is forced to use.
But the Magic Archer was continuing to do a lot of damage. The Fireball was a little bit unnecessary for me for JTV, just to make sure that Baby Dragon doesn't get additional spits out. Now he's going to be behind Elixir. What can he do? Now we're going to see the Barbarian Hut just in time, but really has nothing for this graveyard.
Takes a few hundred damage before that Ghost came down. A little more.
Yeah, I think that Fireball really cost him a lot there, G-Cliff.
He had nothing else to defend at the
Exactly. No elixirs left to defend. The Barbarian had 7 elixirs down. You know you're not going to have anything after that one. This is a situation where you're worried, and this Tombstone is still not down, and the defense should be there for Sado on these Royal Hogs.
Yeah, look at that. He's trying to make something work right now. Nothing really connecting to Sado's towers.
JTV, you can see this frustrations on his face right now because that one mistake got him incredibly behind. Doesn't have anything for it. There's another Barbarian Hunt being sent out, but the poison is going to be on the offensive end. This looks like game over, and that's going to be JTV going down in that one little mistake with that Fireball into the Baby Dragon, and that's going to be Sado taking care of what matters, and he's going to be advancing to the next one.
That's what he prepared for. Thinking that your opponent is going to play Royal Giant again.
Yep.
And then suddenly a graveyard.
It's a very similar looking deck. And once you just mix in the graveyard, it just totally changes the game. But I don't think it was even that. It was just one mistake with JTV that ruined this game.
Yeah, that too. Eventually, with that graveyard with M Poison, I think because we don't have a regain with the damage onto the tower, I think Sado had a better end at the end anyhow, but
sure, it
comes down to one single mistake, and when you have to put down a Fireball for something like that, you know that player is not having the best time.
You see that there's a whole another level of mind game going on between the two teams in terms of who plays what deck and what you do with certain cards, and it all makes a difference on one little detail.
But Joel, it comes down to this moment again. Benzer up against 2 players that he has to go through.
Well,
he did it against Donnie and Radek from Fob Gaming.
Yeah.
Just a match ago. Can he do it again?
Benzer and Sado, we've seen this before. And last time around, it was Benzer clearly winning out.
Yes.
2-0. Of course, one tie involved in that one, but Benzer, what have you got? This Tombstone coming in from the side of Sado, just going to be rushing up those skeletons through. Mega Mini, really hard to tell what this deck is going to be. The Barb is going to be coming through. Is it going to be another graveyard deck from Sado? It could be a possibility. The Barb will just get one swipe through, and see the continuation from this here. It really could be either the elite, the Royal Giant deck,
Barbarians,
the Royal Giant deck, the Royal Giant deck, or the graveyard. It's either one or the other. That's what it is.
Here it comes. Early reveal of your key card. Which is doing a really good moment with against the Prince.
It is, because Benzer used 10 elixirs to get Giant out and get the Prince out as well.
1,800 damage from that one single graveyard because he's up against Prince. Of course, Prince helps taking down the skeletons, but not really. That was a lot of damage from that one.
But the Prince connects. But the Prince is going to connect. Oh,
but not as much.
Okay.
Not even close.
Okay, so, I mean, to summarize all that up, you saw your opponent use 10 elixirs simultaneously. Send out the graveyard. It's easy.
To summarize all that up, Sato's winning the game. Really hard, right?
Thanks, G-Cliff.
Yes.
You talk about summary, that's the most summary you can do.
Yes, the high quality analysis from your co-caster.
There you go. I mean, we're looking at 10 elixirs being summoned again, but no punishment with the graveyard this time around, so we're going to slow things down just a little bit.
This poison will help because it will take down a lot of those skeletons as well, so Prince may be looking towards that charge.
Yikes! Oh, it's a barely
Nice
destroys
defense.
the Prince with the cannon card out being out there
Yes.
as well. You have to always mention that one, and 633 doesn't seem that far away, but this Dark Prince stopping the charge from the cannon card.
Have the Dark Prince away first and then maybe have the graveyard. I think that's your cycle. What Sato's looking for, Benzerito, he does know that's coming. And he has his own poison, maybe save that up for his own defense. I think that's what he needs.
Definitely can't go for another aggressive graveyard like that, but we will see another one come through. This Prince and he was very, very distracted, but the Dark Prince doing a very good job on rotation, very nicely done on defense, and still can't get an offensive push going for Benzerito. And this might be just a few seconds away now as we're going to get to go to overtime, and 4:32 left means that a couple of poisons should get the job done, but Sato, we're going to see what happens. Is he just trying to finish in one push now?
With that graveyard,
That's it. He did it. He did it.
May just be it. And he's
Benzerito
down.
goes down, and Sato wins it for Sandbox. Sandbox are through from the wildcards as the weakest region we had in this entire season, and they're gonna go to the finals. That's very, very important. Semifinals between them and Kingzone will be coming up next week.
Korea versus Korea is set to go for next week. And on to the other side, it is going to be Japan versus Southeast Asia. Sandbox has a miraculous day tonight and takes 2 wins, which no one, well, a lot less people would have thought.
Absolutely unbelievable. I think the entire staff here at OGN that we're looking in front of us,
Wow.
they're in disbelief because we looked at Korea and every week we were disappointed. We were literally going down to a series of depression because how bad Korea was doing.
Not that much.
It was. I mean, do you remember our talks with the co-casters? I'm talking about the Korean casters when we talk about them after the games. They're feeling really sad because they're supposed to be the Korean casters, kind of not supposed to be obviously favoring the Korean teams, but at least supporting them. What are they supposed to say?
What?
在访问主持人 KH， 那
They
首
can
先
talk
也要
about the
先恭喜
game,
Sandbox
and that's
成功的
what
赢下
we're
了
going
这
to
场
do.
比赛。
우선
Sandbox.
샌드박스의 경기의 승리에 대해서 축하드립니다.
Congratulations on your match, Sandbox.
对，那这边的话呢，想要来问的第一个问题就是在这一次他们是赢下了外卡赛，并且抢下了最后一个季后赛的门票。对于这样的情况有什么样的感想呢？
이번에는 와일드카드에 이렇게 들어올 기회를
Wildcard
받았고 또한
was a
이번
very important match for you
경기에서도
guys.
승리를 얻었는데 소감이
You did get the
어떠신지
win.
좀
How do you feel
말씀
about that one?
부탁드립니다.
Getting the win finally today.
일단 저희가 연습한 대로
We
정말
really tried to play as we
이겨서
practiced.
연습을 많이 해서
We practiced
이렇게
quite a bit.
이기게 된 것 같아서 정말
And that's the
기분이
reason
좋아요.
why we got the win today. We're very happy about the
其实他
results.
们为了准备比赛有做特别多的练习，然后感觉上就是因为他们努力的练习，所以才能够赢得比赛，然后觉得非常的开心。
对，好，那现在问一下第二个问题喽，就是想要请教一下，在一开始的时候，其实你们的常规赛记录是5胜9败，那甚至像 Faith Gaming 也是9胜5败，你们并不是一个被大家特别看好的队伍，但你们却获得了胜利，这中间你们有没有一些诀窍，或是有没有想要跟自己粉丝所说的话呢？
사실은 일반 경기에다 5승 9敗로 그리고
you were at 5 and 9
페이프 게임은 9승
before you came into
5敗로
this one. You
사실은
were looking like the
여러분
weakest team out of the
샌드박스에
three,
이렇게
and
기대를 많이 되지
of course, a lot of expectations
않으셨잖아요.
were
근데
not
이렇게
there for you
스트레스를
guys
받은
from the
경우에는
outside.
어떻게
And
준비를 하고 또
what kind of
어떻게
preparation did you do, knowing
이겼는지
that you were probably going to be the
비법이나
weakest team
준비는
out of the
그런
three
특별한
coming into
과정도
today?
알려주시겠어요? 아니면 팬들한테 좀
Maybe you want to say
말씀
something to the fans
부탁드립니다.
regarding that comment as well.
일단 저희가 일본전이랑 이제
For the games we
동남아전에서
played
많이
against
지고
Japan and
그래서
Southeast Asia, we
이제 어떻게
lost
해야
a
되나
lot of those,
했는데
and
이제 연습도 되게 많이
it
하고
really forced us
그래서
to practice a lot harder from that one, and
그래서 저희가
all that
이렇게
extra practice that we got from that
파브팀을
motivation
이기지 않았나
allowed us
싶습니다.
to win today's games.
他知道他们之前在常规赛的表现没有非常好，尤其是在对上东南亚战队的时候，他们输了蛮多的，因此他们真的特别做了很多的练习。他觉得是因为很认真的练习，所以才会赢的。
好的，那最后面一个问题的话呢，想要问一下Sandbox，你们现在有没有想要自己对粉丝们说的话呢，或是想要对其他观众所说的话？
자, 마지막 질문인데요. 팬들한테 아니면 관전들한테 한 말씀 있으면.
You want to say anything to your
이제
supporters out
이번에 2승으로 저희가 와일드카드에서 이제 살아남았는데
there?
나중에
Two
있는
wins
이제
today in a
킹덤전과
wildcards to stay alive.
킹덤이랑 이제 시합이 있는데
We have
거기서
a game against
저희가
Kingzone
이기고
and
월드 챔피언십 저희가
try to
가겠습니다.
do our best to make sure we can make
他
it to
们
the
这一
World
次以
Championship.
2胜的那个很好的战绩拿下外卡赛的这个优胜嘛，然后在下面的比赛的话，他们将会拿下世界冠军。
Oh man, Sandbox winning out, and for me personally, having looked at them as, you know, we're not obviously Korean cast, we're English cast, and we represent everybody equally. But having seen the Korean team struggle this much, but to now see them come back alive, and you talk about them just practicing to get there.
It's the same for all teams, but I think they put in a lot more, especially the one that matters the most. They made it on the day. They're going to Tokyo, Japan, which is actually the place where the World Championship is going to happen too. So maybe can they defeat Kingzone and move on to the finals? That's also a possibility now. They only need to win a few more. They can actually go to the finals from the wild card.
And we remember from season 1, who was the team to make it out
Yes.
and win the championship in the end? It was Pono Sports coming from wildcards. None of the other 3 teams that have made it to the players before them were able to beat Ponos in the end. So if Sandbox can make that similar miraculous run that we saw the Japanese squad do from season 1 in this season 2, that will be an incredible story because it's meaning for just more because Korea was indeed the weakest region.
Ponos did look very dominant even starting from the wild card. Sandbox of course took the 2 wins, but there were a lot of games in the middle going against the first place of all regions. That might be a tougher objective that they have to go through next week. But here comes the result as the only team with that 2 wins.
You talk about, you know, facing off against tougher teams next week. Today's games, we did not expect anything. I don't think many teams and many people out there expected Sandbox to be that top team in the wildcards. And I think the challenge is up for them now. Go into next week, and even if you are against tougher teams, the first place out of all the regions out there, and maybe Sandbox can say that they will be able to do this with enough practice.
Yeah, with standings to no tie situation here as Sandbox had 2 wins. Great run for Chaos Theory and Bob Gaming as well, but this is what's important now. The playoffs next weekend. Actually, everything in one day. 2 best of 3s for the semis and the best of 5 finals.
And we're gonna have G-Clef and Paper Thin back online for that broadcast. So this will be my personal final broadcast of the season. Sad to see it go, but it has been an incredible season, and just waiting for that one last day where Sandbox Kingzone on all Korean best of 3 in that match number 1 with Southeast Asia going against Japan with Brent and Ponos on that one for match number 2, and the winners out of those 4 will be able to go to the grand finals, and everything will be held in Tokyo, Japan, starting at 4 p.m. local time over there.
It's actually a different time. So do mark on your calendar. We're not starting at 6 p.m. KST. It's actually 4 p.m. So that will be a different time. Match number 1, Korea versus Korea. That's crazy, but Ponos versus Red Esports. Oh man, I think a lot of the people, including me, will say the winner of that may just win the entire thing. But with Sandbox actually advancing tonight, no one knows what's going to happen.
And we've been up for surprises all day long today, G-Club. We were very surprised when Sandbox won that match 1 against Chaos Theory, but I mean against FOB Gaming, but coming into this one, I never would have expected that Sandbox would have had the best chance of winning out today's games, because I honestly thought it would have been Japan or Southeast Asia.
That's true. I actually do agree on you, and really thrilled to what's going to happen next week already. I cannot wait till next Sunday of what's going to happen, because they're going to move to Japan and practice, get everything sorted, and they're going to have a lot of games, best of 3 and then a best of 5 right after.
Yeah.
You got to do a lot of practice.
It's going to be 1 week away. I know the wait is too long for all of you, but it is something that we have to endure through, and to make sure we can make it into next week and have G-Cliff and have Paper Thin to cast those games, wonderful games for you guys. And oh man, it's been an incredible journey for me. It's been an incredible journey for Simon, I'm sure. You know, we've been talking about this Clash Royale for many months. For every single day we go on our group chat, we talk about this Clash Royale, what's going to happen this week, next week. And we're finally near the end. It's going to be a beautiful adventure. Now we're going to go to the destination.
Whoever wins, of course, the first place goes straight to the World Finals. So that's a lot of pressure for all the teams, but a good ticket because we get first place and you just have to win 2 matches now, but you get knocked off if you lose.
Those 2 matches seems like a marathon in itself because today's 2 matches that Sandbox had to win through, there was a lot of emotional surge going up and down as to whether they will make it or not. But in the end, they got it done. They made pretty proud, and they will be on to next week's adventure. That semifinals, they'll be going up against Kings, and we're going to have Ponas go up against Brand Esports to see who's going to be making up to the finals, to see who's going to be the eventual champion of CRL Asia Season 2. So that's going to be it for us, guys. We'll see you next week for the grand finals of CRL Asia Season 2.